Citizens of Gotham, this is Batman. There's a new gang of thugs taking over Gotham as we speak. They call themselves the Daggum Podcast. They will be brought to justice. Because I am vengeance. I am the night. I am Batman.
Hello and welcome to the Daggum Podcast. I am your host, Coopbacca. Joining alongside me is my co-host, Crossbow Dan, and our anger correspondent, Jermalee. Today, for our hot take, we're going to be jumping right into this here, and it is going to be why I think Batman vs. Superman is actually a very good comic book movie. I can tell by Dan's reaction. He feels very good about this. All right. Straight out of the gate. I think that they should not have called it Batman vs. Superman. It should have just been called Dawn of Justice. I understand how marketing works, and you have to put Batman vs. Superman in there. But because there was just like a little fight between them the whole time, it was just kind of annoying, and people's hopes were shattered when it was a very small fight. So I would have liked it just to be called Dawn of Justice if that was doable. Would have set expectations a little better.
That's fine, and I agree with you, except how does that make it a better movie?
No, I know. I'm just saying, I wanted to just put that right out of the gate. Like, in my opinion, I think expectations could have been set a little better. And I think people were just expecting like an all-out brawl of a movie the whole time. And just really didn't happen. And that's that. I just want to get that out of the way. So, first things first, why I freaking love this movie is it's about as close as we'll probably ever get to probably my second favorite comic book storyline with The Dark Knight Returns. I know it's not identical to it, but obviously it was pulled very much so from that storyline. You know, Zack Snyder talks about it all the time. Batman being older, kind of more aggressive, being more of kind of that judge, jury, and executioner rather than, younger Batman focusing on, just not killing people, doing what's right. He's been Batman for so long that it's almost kind of broken him in a way. And so it was a lot funner to watch Batman in this style. It was just a different change of pace. I don't know. I feel like we've gotten very similar Batman for so long in these live action Batman movies. Like, how did you feel about Ben Affleck's Batman?
Go ahead, Dan.
It was fine, I guess. I can't point to any reason that it would be terrible other than, it seems like this Batman was super gullible, which didn't make any sense for a Batman. But I guess the point you're saying about an older Batman is fine, where he's, matured a little bit. And I can see that, but at the same time, and this doesn't have to do with Ben Affleck's performance at all, how he was so easily manipulated in that movie that it didn't really feel like a Batman movie.
I guess how so? What do you mean by manipulated? You don't have to go too much into depth to reveal how you feel about the whole movie.
Goaded him into a fight with Superman, basically. Manipulated him into that. And even when Batman was all like, oh yes, I know about Lex's, questionable deals. But he couldn't see that he was being corrupted or being pushed towards a fight with Superman. I don't know.
In a way, you could maybe say he was a little gullible, but, right out of the gate in the movie, you see Superman and Zod, obviously because it takes place, directly after Man of Steel, Superman fighting Zod, and they're flying through Metropolis and just fucking blowing shit up. Right out of the gate, it starts with them flying through buildings, they're fucking using their laser vision. They're chopping buildings in half, and Batman's trying to like drive in because he's like, oh my god, like one of my towers is here. Like I have a bunch of people like that, that work for me. He's like, I got to make sure they're okay. And he's driving towards the madness. Everybody's driving away, and he's on the phone, and he just sees that building come tumbling down, and he saves this little girl from falling debris. And he's like, well, we'll get you to your mom. Let's find your mom. He's like, where's your parents? And then she looks up and points at the destroyed tower, and he just looks up and sees Superman and Zod just going at it, destroying the building. And so right out of the gate, Batman kind of has a little motivation to be like, Superman is not a good guy. Like, he's kind of looking out for himself. He's powerful as fuck, and he's like trying to do good, but he's not really aware of like his actions. And with the way Batman is, like obviously trying to bring justice, he's like, he needs to be stopped. So to me, like when he gets Lex, when Lex is like, I can help you destroy Superman, he's like, that's all I want to do. Like, he needs to be taken down. I don't know if it was necessarily gullible. Like, he probably knew something was something was up, but he's like, this is my best chance to kill Superman.
The motives just happen to align. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or, I don't want to say actual motives, but the plans aligned.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the flaw with this is the movie, it tries its best to establish that Batman is kind of hardened by all this shit that's happened to him recently. Because they have the whole they try to play up on the Joker, with the Robin suit thing.
Yeah.
You had to deal at least with one, I'm assuming, death of a Robin.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't know. I feel like the problem with this part is they needed more to establish that, but you can't fit more into a movie that's already this long with so much going on. They just basically needed to have more movies, which I think it was part of the problem, is it was just very rushed.
Yeah.
They rushed too hard to fucking catch up to the MCU. So
they did.
Then you're stuck with like a half-ass movie. Because if we had gotten a full movie, like you were talking before, of Batman versus Superman, like if you make a movie where Batman is dealing with like the destruction of Superman and fighting the Joker at the same time, kind of establish his hardened ass attitude towards Superman, and then you kind of move into this, and you probably fucking leave out Doomsday too, to where you can establish that in an actual fucking Justice League movie.
Yeah.
I think it's a little bit better, but
yeah, I mean, for sure. I
really do get where Snyder was going with the hardened Batman. I like it. Like, you want to feel for Batman, but in Dan's case, it does come off slightly. It's too quick to buy into it. Like, there's not enough time to grow accustomed to this Batman.
Sure. Yeah, it probably was a little quick to just like throw Batman in.
Like, even if they had taken, like, if they had just taken one of the parts out, like, could have done hardened Batman and then Batman versus Superman, or fucking, I don't know. I actually probably couldn't do it the other way. I would have to do it that way.
Yeah.
But I really do like the idea of going for the fucking Dark Knight comics, because I mean that's one of my favorite Batmans.
Oh yeah, it's great. Okay, that's fair. I mean, yeah, I just wanted to put that there. All right, so let's talk about Superman. I know how we all kind of feel about Superman in general. Not big fans. Superman is overrated to me, but Superman in this movie, and kind of off of Man of Steel, because obviously it's kind of the same. A lot of people did not like this Superman, because everybody's used to Superman being like, oh, I'll save the cat out of the tree. Like, I got you. Like, kind of the happy, charismatic guy. And to me, that was kind of a product of the times, where that was kind of how those comics were. People wanted to be joyful, wanted to have like a positive role model. Those comics were kind of made for kids, as somebody to be like, oh, look at this great guy, I I feel like they grounded Superman pretty well in this movie. He didn't have a lot of personality, which is what a lot of people complain about. But to me, um, he did feel a lot more like alien to me rather than like human, I guess. So like that's where I was kind of understanding where it's like, well, he might not have the same personality as like a happy-go-lucky human because he's not, you know. Um, I felt like he'd been though, you know, that movie and Man of Steel felt like he was trying really hard to do what he felt was right. Uh, in the end, in BvS, it wasn't good enough for the people of Metropolis. You know, people felt he was responsible and capable of anything. So anything he didn't do or should have done was his fault. And so like that's where you kind of have that connection with him a little bit because it's like he's not human. So you can't expect his emotions to be the same as ours. Like he was constantly to blame, and one of the best arguments like, and it's a line directly pulled from this movie, but it helps me see the movie a little better where the argument was talking about a god, or Superman in this case. If God is all powerful, he can't be all good. And if God is all good, he can't be all powerful. And so that's where I really liked really directing that towards Superman because it's like, yeah, I mean, he's doing as much good as he can, but he can't be all, he can't be both. He's got to be a little bit of one. So like when he's fighting Zod at the end of Man of Steel, he can't be good. He's got to be all powerful to defeat Zod. But then he's trying to be good, so he's trying to have that little balance in between, and obviously it's not working. And I just, again, I feel like it was grounded pretty well, like in modern times, because, I mean, would you really expect Superman to exist in like our type of world and no one like have any sort of issues with it? It's like, because it's kind of bad enough with religion as it is, and the idea of, you know, a higher power and or like a god. But if a god were to actually like come to Earth, how would everybody feel about that? You know, like they wouldn't just let a god exist and not say anything. Or like Superman, you know, like it'd be absolutely terrifying to have somebody with the power of like Superman existing on Earth and just living day to day in the same world as you. But people were pretty much kind of took advantage of all of the good that he does and brings to the world and just kind of expect him to be flawless. But, you know, there is that kind of person behind the mask, you could say, that is like Clark Kent. Like, what about him? Like, everybody's focused on what he can do and they just kind of expect him to do everything. But it's like, well, what about like the character of Superman? Like, does he not have a say in like how he wants to live? Just because he has the power, does that mean he has to do all these things for you? I don't know. A lot of people shit on Superman, and I feel like this is probably, honestly, like one of my favorite renditions of Superman. So I like him. I like a more grounded Superman. I'm not a big fan of the just flawless Superman.
Have you even seen the like old Superman movies, Cooper?
With Christopher Reeve?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you like this Superman better than that Superman?
I do,
That
because
makes sense.
I don't know, because to me it's like I don't feel like Christopher Reeve, he was kind of pulled from the comics, which is good. That's fine. But I didn't like really the Superman of the comics because again, he felt like just kind of that very generic superhero that's just like I'm pretty much flawless. I know that they had, you know, he had motivations, you know, he cared about Lois and everything, and that's how Superman is as a character, but I feel like Zack Snyder grounded him pretty well in Batman versus Superman. Like in today's world, I feel like it made sense.
As a robot, I think Zack Snyder made Superman a robot in his two movies with Superman. Like Man of Steel, Batman versus Superman, flattest character ever, and like in Batman versus Superman, I have no idea why he has feelings for Lois. I'm just supposed to accept it. Like, I read the comics, so cool. But if you take yourself out, if you know nothing else about Superman and you watch that movie for the first time, you're like, why are these two have feelings? Like, what's their connection? It just doesn't mix. It's left to me to put it together. That's not a good way to tell a story. He's also not a logical character. Like, he doesn't think logically a lot. He just comes off flat. You can't relate to him, and I guess, like, you're saying, oh, you don't want to relate to him because he's an alien. But the reason that he was good in the Christopher Reeves movies is because, like, it brought him down to earth a little bit, so you could relate to him. And that's the whole reason he grew up in a farm in Smallville. It was so you could relate to, Superman and Clark Kent. And you just don't relate to Superman at all in Batman versus Superman.
I don't think they want you to relate to Superman and Batman versus Superman, though. Again, I think they want you to. I mean, it's more of a Batman story, honestly. It's Batman trying to take down Superman. I think Superman's shit's it is kind of forced. This whole fucking movie is just forced. I want to use that word a lot, apparently. Again, I think they want you to feel for Batman like they do in. I mean, most people are gonna want to side with Batman anyway because it's Batman over Superman. So they're like, why wouldn't you go from the perspective of Batman? So in this case, I think Snyder wanted, again, the whole lead up in that movie is you're in Batman's perspective. You're seeing shit happen to Batman. All this shit destruction happen from Batman's point of view, and understanding why Superman is, epitomized as this god and someone that he wants to take down.
Yeah.
So I actually kind of agree with Cooper here. Like, I like the way they alienated him, and I mean, again, if you had all that power in the world, like, how the fuck would you handle it? Like, I mean, you are an alien on this planet. Your planet is gone. Like, what the fuck are you supposed to do? You want to help people, but people are being dicks about you helping people. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I kind of like the way they did that. I do enjoy the old Christopher Reeve movie, but I like this as a different spin on Superman. I get your point. Like, the Christopher Reeves movies brought him to being a human, whereas he's not a human though. He's a fucking alien. Like, let him be an alien. It was one of the better storylines I think Soups has had, especially on like the film. In my opinion, and probably Coop's too. Like, I just like it because like the Christopher Reeves one, you like Clark Kent as a human, and I mean it brings Soups down a little bit, but then he just becomes Soups, and he's, I don't know. And once he is Soup, he just loses that human edge. He becomes, again, like Coop's all perfect superhero. It's impossible to beat him.
I feel like
But at
it's
least
not
you relate during those Christopher Reeves movies. You don't relate at all. Even in Man of Steel.
I'm not.
Superman.
Man of Steel, I won't
I
really
like
talk about
to
Man of Steel.
relate to most characters in a movie, or like, I don't get, like, I like to relate a little bit to the villains at times, and just have a character that's completely, like, nonsensical in the movie, where it's like, how you could not put yourself in his shoes at all. It's just,
again,
like, why even put it in the movie?
So this movie, they're trying to make Batman kind of a faux pas villain, right? Like, he's the one wanting to take down Superman.
Mm-hmm.
But you're seeing it from his perspective. He's probably the most relatable of the characters because, again, you have the whole opening shot with him, again, getting devastated by this whole fucking Batman or Superman versus Zod fight. So I don't know. Again, I think they tried. I'm not gonna say that they did great, but again, Superman was never the one I wanted to relate with. I can't argue that for Man of Steel because obviously that's the one that is the one, but.
Well, and I honestly feel like you might not be able to relate to him, but like I personally, every time I watch it, I feel bad for Superman. I do, because I'm like, he has so much pressure on him, and he like shouldn't. He didn't have a choice to come down here. Like, he's here.
Right.
He grew up. He's trying to be good and he's trying to use his power for good, but it's like that's not good enough. It's like he's like, but I'm trying to help, and they're like, but you killed these terrorists, you're a murderer. He's like, but they were bad. And they're like, well, you still killed them. And it's like, okay, well, like, the fuck am I supposed to do?
Mm-hmm.
Like when the courtroom blows up and he's sitting there, you know, he's being blamed this whole time, and they're like, he needs to be brought to justice. And he walks in the courtroom. He's like, I'm here. Like, I'm here for you to tell me what I'm doing wrong. I'm here to tell you, like, I feel like maybe I'm right. And, you know, a bomb goes off, blows up the whole courtroom, and he's just sitting there like, God damn it. Like, I'm never going to be able to escape this because now I'm going to get blamed for not seeing the bomb in the courtroom when it was wrapped in lead and he couldn't see it. But again, because he's all powerful, he should have been able to see that bomb and save everybody in the courtroom. But since he didn't see it, everybody blowing up in the courtroom, it's his fault. It's like, why is that fair to blame him?
Okay. About the bomb. It's fine that he didn't see it because if he can't see through lead, his vision doesn't work through that. That's fine. Don't you think he would have been able to like hear the mechanisms turning? Lead doesn't block sound.
Again, but I feel like that's him being a kind of a flawed character. Like, if he was perfect, yes, he would have been able to see that. But I don't think he's perfect. Like, he's flawed, and seeing Superman flawed is why I like it, because I'm sick of seeing a flawless person. Or a flawless character.
Well, they did it better in the Christopher Reeves movies, is what I'm saying. You saw a better flawed Superman.
I don't know. Did you though?
You did.
Oh, it's been a while since I watched him, so I'd have to go watch him again. But I don't remember him being too flawed in Christopher Reeve's.
You have to watch Superman struggle a lot through all this shit, and I feel like that's why I'm like, yeah, maybe one day in the future he becomes the Christopher Reeve Superman, but he really hasn't been Superman for that long.
So the other thing with the courtroom scene too is like, so even if like, okay, he has super hearing, right? So he should be able to hear it, but going into that, are you telling me you're not gonna have anxiety and be like, well, what the fuck am I supposed to say to these people? Like, your fucking mental process is like, you're running through this 100 times. I'm like, what are they gonna ask me? What am I gonna respond with? How should I respond? What are people gonna like? What are people gonna hate? You can't tell me that's not gonna take your mind off of my fucking super hearing for a second. Like, again, I guess I don't really know the exact science of how it would work, but yeah. I feel like there would be an easy explanatory fucking like mental block kind of on that scene. It's like, you're literally going to face the world on what you've done. A good time to be distracted is now. So, like, I give him a full excuse on that.
All right. So I don't want to spend too much time on it, but yeah, I get you. It sounds like Dan is like, no, he kind of sucks. I like Christopher Reeve's Superman a lot better. That's fair. I just wanted to give that explanation because I feel like out of all the Superman like renditions, I actually liked this one. We don't have to talk about it too much. Everybody knows Batman quite a bit. Batman has become older, less tolerant of criminals. You kind of see throughout the film that he's less and less about him and his younger self and, following his moral code. And nowadays, again, kind of like the Dark Knight Returns comic, he's more about doing what he feels is justice. He's almost kind of being that judge, jury, and executioner. Alfred's constantly questioning him throughout the movie, and Bruce constantly says why this is the way it needs to be. Like, this is how it's always been, Alfred. We're criminals. That if there's even a 1% chance that Superman's the enemy, we need to take him down. And you're like, he's kind of losing his mind a little bit. Like, he's lost that moral code a little bit where he's like, he's losing almost the human side of Batman, like of Bruce Wayne, and he's becoming just Batman, And I don't know. Everybody sees him as a criminal anyways, so he's like, Superman must be stopped because he's the real criminal. And I feel like that's why the conflict between the two is really good, because Superman, Clark Kent, sees the Bat Vigilante as a criminal. He's like, he's causing fear throughout the whole entire city. Like, nobody wants to go out at night. Like, they can't even walk around without being nervous. Like, if they do any little thing, Batman comes out and, does justice and brands them. And it's like, when Batman brands him, that doesn't necessarily do anything. But when he goes to prison, the whole code of that Batman brand is if you have that in prison, you die. Like, so it's like people are just scared for their life, where it's like, yeah, it's like having that law is good and maybe crime goes down a little bit, but it's like he's taking all the power among himself, and you kind of see that. You see Batman just like taking it too far. You're like, this is a different Batman. Like, he's kind of losing his shit. And again, that was kind of the Batman of the Dark Knight Returns, and that's why I was like, yeah, I mean, we're essentially getting Batman, Frank Miller's Batman. I like that.
Yeah, I actually like Batman. I like Affleck did fine with it. They looked the part. They did pretty good with everything. And like you said, I like the way, or the storyline they brought up Batman with. Again, he's a much older, fucking hardened Batman, and we haven't seen that yet. And I like that idea. Like, the one thing I'm not excited for with Robert Pattinson is, again, he's starting out. I just want to fucking see old Batman. I want to see Batman Beyond.
Yeah. See Flashpoint Batman, and he's just fucking killing people. Yeah. Like,
exactly.
we've seen that. I feel like, we've seen the same Batman for so long that it's like, I'm ready for something different.
That's literally the only thing that doesn't excite me about Robert Pattinson's Batman. Nothing to take away from that, but it's like, I've seen the beginning of Batman, so it's fucking Spider-Man all over again.
Yeah.
Like,
Dan, all right. So I know how you feel about Superman in this movie. How did you feel about Batman in this movie? I can't hear you. You're quiet.
Dan, you're muted, you piece of... Something happened.
Okay. Batman is not very good in this movie because, one, like I already said, he's way too gullible, way too easily manipulated. I mean, there's no reason that he should not be looking into Lex as well, especially if he's seasoned. You don't get worse at your detective capabilities with age. It should not make you more gullible. I get you're a more bitter guy, but that shouldn't make you easier to manipulate.
You don't think that he had plans going into it? Being like, well, Lex is going to help me now, but I'm smarter than Lex, and I'm going to take down Lex, regardless of the situation.
Right.
I mean,
but obviously, then Lex creates Doomsday, and then there's a big fucking problem. So obviously, it wasn't.
But at the end, I mean, obviously, nobody fucking was going to expect Doomsday. I mean, even Superman was like, what the fuck?
Well, if anyone should have been expecting something like that, it should have been Batman. It's like, if he's supposed to be the world's greatest detective, he did a shit fucking job at it.
Again, though, couldn't he just, I mean, if your objective is blinding you to a certain extent, you just miss something. Like, you can't tell me you forgot something because you're trying to do something one day.
Yeah.
He's still a human being. He's gonna fuck up once in a while.
Yeah, it just doesn't make any sense.
I mean, Robin
died.
That he obviously fucked up.
Yeah, it just doesn't make that much sense.
And then at the end, when Lex Luthor's in prison, he's like, I'm going to get out. He's like, yeah, that's why I figured you'd, start coming up with a master plan. That's why I'm having you transported to Arkham, so I can keep an eye on you.
Oh, crazy.
It's like, oh, shit.
Yep.
All right. Well, fuck you, Dan. That's all I got to say. Right.
So, another thing. Okay.
Go ahead.
Batman has, if he has pure conviction where he's blinded and can't see past the manipulation, how does, Batman going, they're gonna kill Martha, change his mind? He can't play both sides there. It makes no sense. It's illogical to play both sides there. To say, oh, he was blinded by motive, couldn't see what Lex was doing, but all you have to say is the name Martha, and all of a sudden he's like, oh my gosh, I've been manipulated this whole time, and you're right. Superman's an ally and a good guy. No, it doesn't make there's no reason that works.
All right, fine. That transitions us over to my little piece in my notes here that literally says Martha with like 8 A's after it. So,
Martha.
yeah. So, one of the most memed scenes in this movie. People did not like this part. People were very upset and thought it was stupid, thought it was silly, it was cringeworthy, and I disagree.
Well, you shouldn't, because it was.
No,
It's the worst scene in comic book movie history.
I don't know about that.
Name a worst scene.
Dancing Spider-Man?
Dancing Spider-Man is better than this, and you know it.
Nope. I don't. I did not like Dancing Toby. That was the most
Dancing Toby
retarded
is-
thing I've ever seen. Emo Toby. Get the fuck out of here.
All right. Well, let me do some explanation. So, Superman is on the verge of death. The whole point of him trying to kill Batman was obviously to save his mom. You know? I mean, that was Lex's plan. He wanted to fight, pit them against each other, of course. When he knew that the Bat was about to kill him, his dying words were, Martha, you're going to kill Martha. So I know, Dan, you were saying, why the fuck would he? Why would he call his mom by her first name? Because Superman knows Batman's mother's name is Martha. Superman is smart. He knows, and so obviously he's playing a little trick because he's about to die. He's about to fucking die. He's like, I got to do something. I'm obviously like weak. He's got a kryptonite spear at my throat. What else can I do? I'm trying to save my mom. Well, his mom's name is Martha. How can I get him to snap out of him wanting to kill me? And so, he says Martha, and Batman kind of steps back a little bit. He's like, why'd you say that name? Because, if Batman kills Superman, someone else is going to die in result. Which kind of goes against Batman's, moral code that he's been fighting for so long. He's been out of it for so long, and so when he's about to kill, the most powerful being on, planet Earth, and he realizes that, he's like, holy shit, even if I kill this god, this is going to hurt somebody else. And so, like, of course, Martha, it's Batman's mom's name. He wishes he could have saved her. It's not some, like, super deep, crazy thing. Superman knew Batman wanted to kill him. And by saying Martha, it was obviously going to trigger something in Batman. Whether Batman killed him, that would have been different. But he's like, this is like my only shot to live. And maybe he could convince Batman, be like, I'm trying to save my parent. Like, I know you couldn't save yours, but you can help me save mine. Batman was a criminal this whole time, was taking things too far into his own hands, about to kill Superman, realized his actions would harm others by killing Superman. And by killing Superman, he's doing exactly what like Joe Chill did to his parents by taking somebody he cared about away from him. He's becoming the very thing that he hates, the very thing that made him become Batman in the first place. So it wasn't necessarily about Batman knowing Martha was Superman's mom. It was about Superman saying Martha to get Batman back on track, to be like, dude, you're taking shit too far. You don't realize like what you're doing. And so,
okay, if that's what Superman truly thought, why didn't he just come out with that at the beginning until he was being beaten to a pummel, and then he's like, oh, Martha, Martha? It doesn't make any sense. If he would just went up at the beginning of the fight, like, hey, Batman, that my mom, Lex Luthor is trying to get me to fight you because of that, and Batman's all sitting there angry, like, I want to kill you. And he's like, oh, shit, is that your mom? If that works, then that's going to work at the beginning. Why doesn't he lead with that? It makes no sense to have like be there at his throat and be like, oh, by the way, they're gonna kill my mom, bro.
Well, Superman thinks Batman's a villain. He thinks Batman should be taken out. I mean, that is the whole goal between the two. You know, Superman, if he defeats Batman, he saves his mom. So they both go there to fight each other. Superman obviously does not think he's going to lose to Batman. So it's like, he's not going to be like, dude, my mom, like, she's about to die. He's like, you're kind of a criminal. I'm going to stop you. And when I stop you, it's also going to save my mom. So it's kind of a win-win situation for him.
But
and
is it?
I mean, in his eyes, maybe.
Because to your same point, it's like where Superman's trying to be all good. If he was really trying to be all good, he would go there to talk to Batman. He wouldn't go there and be like, I'm going to pummel you into the dirt. You're going to be done. Because that's what he sees Batman doing. And if he really thinks that what Batman is doing is wrong, he wouldn't do the exact same thing to Batman. That whole fight scene, the whole premise of the fight scene and the resolution makes no sense. And that's the bad part. That's what makes it a bad movie, is they're easily manipulated into this. Their motives to fight make no sense. And the way it was resolved also makes no sense. So you have this big jumbled mess of stuff that just has no logical explanation to why it happened. And also, Lex Luthor's motivations are very obscure. It's like, cool, you want to be more powerful. Why? Like, what goal do you have by eliminating Superman? And it's because Superman wasn't even standing in Lex's way to that point.
I know. I think that's why he wanted to pit them against each other, though, because he's like, I can take one of them out. If I could just have them do that work for me, like, why would Lex do it? If he could just be like...
Why would he do it? I don't know. They're obviously not impeding on any of his plans. He's getting everything he wants up to that point. Not once did Superman, stop anything that Lex was doing. Not once did Batman stop anything that Lex was doing. We have no idea what the personal reasons why Lex is like, oh, I gotta get rid of Superman or Batman.
Because I think he knows he's doing some fucked up shit. And I think eventually one of them is going to catch on. I mean, if you take one of them out of the picture, it's going to be a little easier to go through with your plans,
That's a big reach. Like, it doesn't make sense for Lex to, be like, hold a personal stake in that. Right now, they're staying out of his way.
It's true, but why not keep it that way, too? Like, if you have one of them take the other one out, then you still only have to deal with 1 versus 2. Like, just because someone's in your way now doesn't mean they're not going to be in your way in the future.
But what evidence is there that they will ever be in his way, or that if he can manipulate Batman in such a way, then what's to say he can't do it at any other time when it actually becomes a problem for him? Why would he want to call attention to himself by pitting them against each other? Because he does. And he calls attention to himself. It puts a target on his back when he can't just be, slime his way through Congress and feed judges or senators or whatever she was urine.
Again, I mean, he's clearly a villain. Eventually, someone's going to catch on. I actually like his move here. I get that there's no motive. There is no motive. That's fucking fine. But I like the preemptive strike as a bad guy from Lex Luthor. It's not a bad move. If you can take out an enemy before they're going to come for you at all, why not do it?
But you could still write that into the story. You could be like, Lex Luthor has a plan, and his plan is that's but then he sees in the future, and he points directly to it, or you see it that Superman is in the way of his plan. I have to eliminate Superman, and that's fine. But he never has that plan. It looks like, and Jesse Eisenberg even plays it this way, that he's just insane trying to eliminate Superman. It doesn't make any sense for the character of Lex Luthor from any previous, anything. Yeah, that was a totally different Lex Luthor completely.
Right. I can't say that I like this Lex Luthor. I don't really know how this ties back into Martha even, but other than it's kind of a plan, his plan, but I kind of like the insanity role. like that's the other thing is, as a bad guy, like if you want to be the big bad guy, why not, come up with a master scheme that's going to take down one of the big good guys? How fucking badass do you be in the fucking villain world if you're like, oh, look what fucking I made Batman do? Fucking killed Superman.
Well,
That
and
was
Lex
my doing.
Luthor also. I mean, I feel like the biggest motivation for the character of Lex Luthor in general is to be powerful, like to have power. And throughout the whole movie, he talks about, this God being that has come to this earth. He's not some angel. Like, he's a demon. Like, you guys don't realize how powerful he is until he does something wrong. Like, he's trying to pit everything against Superman because he knows eventually Superman's already more powerful than he is. And he knows in order to be the most powerful, obviously, is to take out Superman. Dan, you're muted again.
That's great. Since Dan's muted, I'll just start talking about Martha.
Okay.
So I really don't like the names being the same, the Martha thing. I really wish it was played out a little bit different because it is very cringy. Like, I don't care who you think you are, you can't tell me it's not cringy. It was the way it was done was just not great. Yeah, I was gonna try and find a positive in that, like a silver lining or gold lining, whatever. But I don't know if I can. Like, I kind of like the reason he stopped, but like, in all honesty, I kind of wish that Batman was the one that had killed fucking Superman, and Doomsday again was its entire movie, and kind of instead of having to bring him back for
Sure.
the second one.
Yeah.
That
heard you
was
on that one, Dan.
Okay.
But I get you. I mean, I'm not going to say Martha is some beautiful piece of fucking, like, beautiful scene. It's such a great... I just feel like... I understand it was a little... I feel like the initial idea behind it was not a bad idea. I feel like the execution maybe was a little awkward. But I feel like maybe the reason behind it was not necessarily, like, that far-fetched. Like, people were like, why the fuck would he say it? I'm like, I mean... Superman's about to die. I mean, he's going to kind of do whatever he can do to save his life, obviously.
Yeah, and I mean, I like your point of view of, like, he's using everything he has in his arsenal to, like, win this fight. Especially when you are Supes. I don't think you plan on losing that fight.
Yeah. And, Supes dies. Not only is he dying for himself, it's like, if he dies, his mom's dying too. Like, he's like... I mean, even if I die right now, say he says Martha and Batman gets pissed and kills Superman, like, it was at least worth a shot because it's like, that was kind of my last shot to, try and save my mom. That's like all I can do. But I understand. It was a little silly. I just feel like it was blown way out of proportion. I've definitely seen more awkward scenes than that.
It's just illogical.
All right.
Like I said, I mean, I would have been way happier had they fucking just... If Batman had killed fucking Superman, it would have been way better.
Yeah, sure.
All right. So we talked... Sorry, go ahead.
Like, it makes no sense to have the word Martha, or like, oh, they're going to kill Martha, stop his action. It makes no sense that Superman didn't say that beforehand, if he was going to say that then.
I mean, I don't know if I completely agree with that, though, because it's still like a fucking traumatic experience for him. Like, clearly. I mean, as much as resolve or fucking, therapy that he's gotten by beating the shit out of countless fucking villains, it's still one of those things. I don't think your parents getting killed in front of you ever goes away.
And also, as a comic book movie, if he just says, Batman, my mom's about to die, and he's like, oh shit, all right. Well, then you don't get a goddamn battle scene, all right? It's a goddamn movie. It's goddamn
But doesn't that make more sense as Superman? Like something Superman would do?
I don't know.
It's more true to
His
character.
mom's about to die.
Maybe a more campy Superman, yeah, but not this one that's fucking had to deal with a bunch of shit.
This flat one has no personality. Yeah,
Shut your
that
mouth.
Like you,
Anyways.
Dan?
Like I said, I'm a resident expert in the subject.
You're a shitty fucking personality person anyway.
So since we talked a little bit about it, we talked a little bit about Lex. I wanted to just give my little take on Lex. I understand Jesse Eisenberg was not the best casting, and his portrayal was a little out there. I mean, he essentially was the Riddler in the Batman vs Superman movie. But let's put aside the zany mannerisms and focus a little bit on the actual character that he was in the movie, and that is Lex Luthor. You know, Jesse Eisenberg in the movie was manipulative. He was powerful not by strength, but by what he can do. You know, he can, with money and everything that he has, you know, he can kind of sway a government or a very large corporation, such as at the very beginning when he makes a deal, he's like, get me on the Kryptonian ship. And he's like, done. He's like, and I want Zod's body, you know, and like in exchange for all of this shit. And, you know, he has that power. He's also a genius and, you know, a great scientist, just like Lex Luthor is. I felt like Eisenberg was most of those things, maybe not to the best potential, but again, if you get all the zany, weird stuff away, when you break it down to Lex Luthor as a character, at the core, I mean, Eisenberg had those traits. And I wanted to do a little game. I just wanted to see if it'll work. So, I picked out some lines that Lex Luthor has said. Some are from Batman vs. Superman, and some are from comics, some are from TV shows, and they're all Lex Luthor quotes. So some are from Jesse Eisenberg, and some are from Lex Luthor, the good Lex Luthor that people like. So, you're not allowed to Google these, Dan.
Is this just Dan playing this, or
No, I had a feeling he might have started looking these up because he's an asshole.
He
So,
would.
First one. I feel like this one's kind of obvious because whatever. If God is all powerful, he cannot be all good. And if he is all good, he cannot be all powerful. And neither can you be, Superman.
I mean, do we really need to do this one?
So,
I mean, you already said it. So.
Yes. So I talked about that one. But is that one, like, could you not see, like, Lex Luthor saying that? Like,
yeah,
just in general. I mean, it's like, I feel like that line is pretty...
It's very... Yeah, I don't know. It's very philosophical. Philosophical, thank you.
You know who would have said it better?
The guy from Smallville?
No. What's the Britain superhero team, like the captain, like the mental telekinetic guy that Superman has to like shoot a laser beam into his brain to stop him? Isn't that group of 4 that's like going around and they almost kill Superman? They're not good guys. Yeah, it makes more sense for him to say it.
Does it though? Like, I think if you take a more intimidating Lex Luthor and not Jesse Eisenberg saying it, I feel like that line fits just fine with the normal Lex Luthor. I'm pretty sure that's Cooper's point. Like, if you take a Gene Hackman or someone more, again, less zany than Jesse Eisenberg's portrayal of fucking Lex Luthor, that line works just fucking fine.
Manchester Black is the guy.
I don't give a fuck.
All right, so here's another one. A good businessman has to keep track of his assets. Is that Jesse Eisenberg, or is that good Lex Luthor?
I feel like that was Jesse.
Incorrect. That was from an animated show, and he said that to Superboy.
Fair.
All right, here's another one. Failure isn't something I'm used to doing.
No, I'm pretty sure that's Jesse Eisenberg.
Incorrect. That is the I believe it is from an animated show as well. I didn't get the direct source. I was just
You son
pinning
of a
it
bitch.
whether it was from, Jesse Eisenberg or from, I feel like for the most part people like Lex Luthor outside of Jesse Eisenberg. That just. All right, here's another one. You don't have to use the silver bullet, but if you forge one, we don't
That
have
is
to
Jesse
depend
Eisenberg
on the
already made
kindness of
I remember
masters.
that quote. Yeah, that one was going a little bit too much detail there, Coop.
Yeah,
Yep,
sorry,
he's
sorry.
talking to is it Amanda Waller or whatever? I don't even know. Like the senator lady.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do like the quote though. All right, here's another. Devils don't come from hell beneath us; they come from the sky.
You said it was the devil's
I feel like that's Batman who said that. If anyone said it in the movie, it was Batman and not Lex Luthor.
Jeremy, what
I
do you
feel
feel?
I feel like that one was Jesse though too, wasn't it?
That one was Jesse Eisenberg.
Yeah. See, this Jesse, I felt like was very much at I don't know. He was kind of philosophical in. I don't. He tried to make it very poetic when it kind of wasn't. Like again, I like the business lines from Lex because that's what it's about. It's about being power and business like, versus Jesse tried to make it poetic, which I guess he was trying to make it poetic to other people, but I don't know.
Sure.
I still like the business sense first.
I'll just do a couple more just for fun.
Sure.
All right. The basic rule of business: turn every weakness into a strength.
That's not Jesse.
That's from Smallville, is my guess.
I think so.
Do it.
There's no good that comes from hero worship.
Thunderbolt Ross.
Whoa.
It could have been. And it does sound something like Thunderbolt Ross would say.
I'm gonna go Jesse on this one.
Dan, what do you think?
Again, I feel like that's something Batman would have said in the movie.
So, that was Lex Luthor from the Injustice video game.
Yeah.
And the last one. Must I remind you of my superiority?
I feel like that's comic book.
That's pretty much all of them.
Yeah,
So,
and I'm pretty sure we could find lines very similar to that in all of them.
So that one is from Injustice as well. I picked that one because I actually specifically remember that one when he said that. Must I remind you of my superiority?
I don't think I've read a comic book that doesn't have Lex talking about his superiority. So
He's an egotistical person for sure.
So, I just wanted to point out with that little game, I just wanted to say that the dialogue that Jesse Eisenberg uses is really not that far off from, Lex Luthor in the comics and the TV shows that we like him from. I understand his portrayal was really weird, but if you, break it down and get to the core of Lex Luthor as a character, I really don't feel like it was that far off.
My main problem with Lex is his motivation. Power is just not a good enough motivation. He needs to have a plan to, once you have power, that's great. What is he doing with it? No, that's never explained. We don't see an overarching plan. We don't know what he's trying to do. And that's not Lex Luthor.
It is kind of explained, not right at the beginning, but in the end, when he is in prison, and again, this is kind of a little out there because it's a post-credit scene, not in Batman vs. Superman, but it's in the post-credit scene of Justice League when he breaks out of prison. He's like, we're going to start our own Justice League, or we're going to start our own Injustice League, essentially. He has this plan to make a powerful group. Like he wants to bring power around him. And I know it's kind of hard to pull from another movie after Batman vs. Superman. But I feel
for what,
again, it was just one movie with him. I feel like it's hard to say that it's like you can't maybe explain all of his motivations and his end result maybe in one movie.
See, this isn't even a problem with
just Lex Luthor. This is a problem with DC. Their villains completely lack motivation. You don't really know, besides wanting power, you don't get it. Like, in Marvel, Thanos, he wants the power for population control because it happened on his planet where it tore his planet apart. He doesn't want to see that in the universe, so he wants to control the population. So he wants power for a purpose. Loki, as a villain, wants control of Midgard because he thinks humans are a warring group and wants to settle them down. Why in the world does Lex Luthor want power in this movie? I have no idea. I have no idea what his motivation is. I don't know what his plan is. As a villain in this movie, he falls flat.
But did you get that? I'm actually asking. Did you get that Loki motivation in one movie, or was it throughout, many movies that Loki was in?
Hey, you get it throughout all the movies, but you can still, he still plays to it in the beginning. I have no idea. I cannot tell you what Lex's overarching plan is, and it feels like it switched if you talk about that, post-credit scene. It's like, oh, we're going to create a group of bad people. That's a responsive action. Wasn't your original plan. What was your original plan in Batman versus Superman? What did you have going on that you needed one of those to eliminate? Did you just want, people to be like, oh, you're the man who got Superman killed. You manipulated Batman into doing it. It's like, you're a real tricky guy, Lex.
Yeah, and I don't know. Like, again, Lex for the most part wants, and it's kind of hard because it's like if you don't know Lex, then maybe it is a little difficult. But knowing Lex, he wants power and he feels threatened because Superman has more power than he does. And so by taking Superman out of the picture, Lex kind of becomes, the most powerful, especially if he's able to take out and outsmart Superman. If you're able to take out the most powerful being on the planet, you kind of almost become the most powerful being on the planet.
Yeah, but it never comes off like that's what he wants in the movie.
Sure.
Like, Lex, to me, when he's trying to be president in the comics, it's because he sees a way that he thinks the world can be ran for the better, and it makes him a better character. This one just seems insane. Like, there's a line by the Joker in the Batman movies where he's like, I'm just a dog out here chasing cars. That's what Lex felt like in this movie. He was just a dog out there chasing cars. Didn't know what to do when he caught one.
Well, he kind of did. His plan was to build Doomsday. And he did fulfill that plan. He wanted access to the Kryptonian
Was that his
technology.
plan, though?
It was.
Did he really
at the very
think,
beginning,
I can build a Doomsday in the beginning? Like, if I get the alien ship, I can create something superior to Superman. Or did he just come to that, like, it fell into his lap? It felt like it fell into his lap. Like, that wasn't his plan.
The first scene you see him in, the discussions right away are, if you want this deal to go through, I want access to the Kryptonian ship and I want Zod's body. Because I think he knows by getting on the Kryptonian ship what kind of technology they have and that he could use to his advantage.
Yeah, I know he thinks he can craft a weapon to, beat Superman. That's what he states. It's like, yeah, I'm going to craft a weapon to beat Superman. But,
Which he did.
like, was it Doomsday, that weapon in the beginning? I don't think so.
Well, probably not. I feel like, I don't know. Without getting on the Kryptonian ship, you don't know that Doomsday is even a possibility.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think creating Doomsday was his plan.
But
it feels like it fell into his lap.
in the end, his plan did kind of come to fruition. He did create a weapon that killed Superman, a.k.a. Doomsday.
Yeah, but then
the only way that
what did he
Doomsday was
gain?
dead. He killed Superman. He's dead.
Yeah, and what did he gain? He ended up in prison. Seems like a shitty plan. Didn't know what to do with it.
I think
When
he knows he's smart enough to get out, though. I understand, though. I'm not going to try and stretch it too far, acting like Lex is some great thing. I just wanted to, give a different perspective on him. I don't think he's the worst thing to ever, come into a Superman movie. It was a little goofy. I agree. But I feel like some of the main traits and characteristics of Lex were there. Not all, so.
I mean, if you mix the Joker and the Riddler in there, sure.
They should have showed them having a baby, and then you could have had Jesse Eisenberg, and it'd been the perfect fucking thing.
Yeah.
All right, and now I want to talk. I know this is going a little bit long here. I just want to get through this point. So, this was one of the really big controversial points in this movie. Why the fuck is Batman killing people? People were like, Batman doesn't kill. Isn't that his moral code? He doesn't kill people? Yes. But I just gotta say that everybody was pissed when he started killing people. But they didn't give a shit about him killing literally in all of the other Batman movies. And I even did some research. So, Batman 1989, Michael Keaton. He killed 3 times on screen. First one, he blew up the factory, which we saw 4 people inside that factory. There could have been even more. Blew it up. There's no surviving that. They're dead.
They could have gotten out, too.
No, because he saw him and he's like, all right, dropping the bomb. Boom. It's done. He also scraps with the henchman at the church when he's trying to get the Joker. And I don't know what you would call it, but it's like those big spiral stairways, where there's a giant falling area in the middle of the stairwell. He fights him, throws him off the stairwell. He doesn't grapple him. He drops him. He's not surviving that shit. He's dead. And he also kills the fucking Joker. It wasn't like a blatant, fucking just murder. Batman's hanging on. Joker's about to escape. Instead of, shit, I can't kill. I guess I'm going to have to let Joker live another day. He grapples him and ties him to a gargoyle. And Joker either has the choice of getting split in half from the helicopter pulling him away, or he falls to his death. Obviously, in the movie, he falls to his death. So, he killed the Joker. Batman returns. He very blatantly... This one, I guess you could say he might have lived. But he fucked him up real bad. One of the Penguin's henchmen... It was kind of weird, but he drives his Batmobile really far away. Does a 360 and zooms off, and the flames out of the Batmobile light this guy on fire, and there's nobody around him, and he's on fire. I'm pretty sure he's going to die. Also, he's fighting one of the henchmen. He has a bomb, and he's running out of time, and he doesn't know what to do with it. So, instead of just throwing it, he sees a henchman, straps it to the henchman's stomach, and kicks him in a hole, and then the hole blows up. Also murder. Batman Forever, there wasn't any blatant killing in that movie. I think the only ones I could really think of, he drove up a wall, which is fucking ridiculous, but he drove up a wall and 3 cars crashed into a wall and blew up. And then he also, when Two-Face was flipping a coin, Batman randomly had a bunch of coins and threw them at him, and it distracted Two-Face and he fell off a ledge and died. Batman and Robin was actually, I actually did some pretty deep research on Batman and Robin. From what I could see, it was the only Batman movie that Batman did not kill anybody on screen. Therefore, Batman and Robin's Batman was the most accurate portrayal of Batman and is the greatest of all time. And the only thing that he killed in that movie was the franchise for 8 years. I had to put that joke in there.
But oh, sorry, I missed.
No, it's okay. I'll edit the sound effect. Batman Begins starts the League of Shadows temple on fire and blows it up. You see the Ra's al Ghul of the movie, which doesn't actually turn out to be him, but the big old thing drops on him, and he's like, and then you just see blood come out of his mouth. He's dead. And then also blowing up the temple. I'm sure some of the assassins escaped, but there's no way every single one of them got out of that explosion. He also was on that train with Roz and was like, I know he said the dialogue because they're like, we don't want to make it look like he's killing him. But he's like, you know, I don't have to save you. Or he's like, I think Ra's al Ghul or Wash al Ghul was like, you can't let me die. He's like, yeah, but I don't have to save you either. And he leaves. And then the train crashes, blows up. Batman could have saved his life and he let him die. So I feel like that kind of plays into that. The Dark Knight, he rams a dump truck with his little tumbler, flies underneath and smashes it up against a bridge. Obviously, whoever was in that dump truck, dead. He also threw Harvey Dent off of a building and killed him. There are also a plethora of car crashes throughout the whole entire movie, and to say that there was nobody in any of those vehicles that's not logical, as Dan would say. And Dark Knight Rises, there actually wasn't that many in here, but there was kind of an important one. And when he's in his little Batwing, like helicopter thing, you know, he shoots a missile into a tank, causing it to go off course, off of a bridge, and killing both passengers, which one of those is Talia. And he killed her. Also, there's a plethora of car crashes throughout that movie as well, which again, not logical to say that there was no people in any of those vehicles. Also, 1966 Batman also killed people. There was an episode where he was kicking people and punching people, and they just exploded into nothingness. And Robin even questions. He's like, are they going to come back, or are they dead? And then you're like, oh my god, he just killed those people. So, the fact that Batman kills Batman versus Superman is not some insane thing. It might have seemed a little more in your face, Batman killing in Batman vs. Superman. But really the only ones I could think of that were like maybe a little more blatant were, again, with all the other movies, he killed people by crashing into their cars. He also kicked a grenade out of somebody's hands when he was fighting him, and that guy, for whatever reason, decided to chase after that grenade and then blow it. And then Batman also grappled a wooden crate and threw it at somebody's head. That probably killed him. And then he also shot KGB's flamethrower tank and caused it to blow up. But that was also kind of a callback to The Dark Knight Returns, when that thug was holding the little girl hostage and he shoots the thug and, you know, rescues the hostage. I mean, in the nightmare scene, Batman is mowing people down like a motherfucker. I think people didn't like that. But that was just a dream sequence, so you can't really consider that killing because he didn't actually kill people in real life. How do you guys feel about him, you know, killing people in Batman versus Superman? Did it bother you?
I don't know if you know this, but people often get really tired and worn out after fighting Batman, and they just have to go to sleep. So I think that's what happened in all these cases.
Yeah. Okay.
It's just like Spider-Man. When you toss someone off the edge, you just magically web shoots them to the side of the building. He's got fucking bat grapplers waiting there to catch people so they don't actually die, Coop.
The Spider-Man game
You're not
did
a
a really
Batman
good.
fan.
The Spider-Man game did a really good job of that when you throw people off the building. They go,
I tried to throw as many off as I could
I
to
did
see if
too.
I could get one to
Bullshit.
fucking fall.
Though I did in the Spider-Man GameCube game, I think it's Spider-Man 2. People were hanging off the ledge, and I would just let them fall because they would just fall to the ground and die. I'm like, I'm a terrible Spider-Man, but it was fun. I wanted to see how you guys felt about that because the whole idea and moral code and why Batman is Batman is that he doesn't kill. But people seem to get so pissed off that Batman killed people in Batman vs. Superman. I'm like, literally in all of the Batman movies, he has killed somebody. Pretty blatantly. It's not like you had to like hunt and peck where he was killing people. It's like, I don't know. He just rammed that car going 100 miles per hour. I don't think they lived. And that was kind of that same scenario in Batman vs Superman.
I don't know. I'm okay with killing, of course. I've got a morbid perspective, so.
I just knew that was a controversial point, so I was like, I wanted to see how other people felt about it because I was not as bothered. But I was bothered when Zack Snyder said, "Well, I pulled from the Dark Knight, and he kills people in that comic book." As far as I know, there was no actual deaths that they confirmed in the Dark Knight storyline, other than Joker at the end. They did call Batman a murderer, even though Joker killed himself. And so my final point is, Superman sacrifices himself for the greater good of mankind and does the most selfless thing anybody could ask him to do, and he saves the world from doomsday. So in the end, everybody that was doubting Superman and saying he was doing bad things, he did the ultimate sacrifice and did the best thing that you could ask him to do in that situation. So that is my hot take on Batman versus Superman and why I think it is a good comic book movie.
I still can't agree it's a good movie. My main thing, again, it's so rushed and so clogged and oversaturated with a bunch of shit that just didn't end up well. So, I mean, I like the attempt. I give you a valiant effort for trying, but I have to disagree.
Yeah. All right.
Yep.
I know where Dan's at. I don't even have to hear Dan.
Martha.
Why did you say that name? He should have said mommy.
It would have been more. It would have made more sense for me.
Why did you
He
say
was just
that
like,
name?
"Mommy, your mom is gonna die," and then they just turn
God.
into little kids.
Yep.
Yep, makes sense.
Yep.
Logical, just as
Been
logical.
better. About as logical as Wonder Woman 84. That whole movie was just full of logic, and they followed every rule of reality that they could.
Well, at least they explained it with magic.
Yeah. And wishes.
Magic and wishes are powerful.
It is true. All right. Well, that is the end of that segment. So, hope you guys enjoyed that. We're going to transition over into our mid-segment, so we'll get to that right after this transition.
Thank you for listening to the Daggum Podcast. There are new episodes available every Monday on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and more. Stay tuned as we move on to our next segment of the episode. Enjoy!
Hello and welcome to our mid-segment of the episode. Today we're going to be discussing our goals for the year 2021. This could be anything from, wanting to read more, watch movies, personal goals, anything like that. We're just going to be discussing what we want to achieve this year. So I'll just go ahead and start. One of my goals is to finish Clone Wars and to finish Rebels. I need to get through them.
About goddamn time.
I know.
Yeah. I've
It's
already
taken me
spoiled
way too long.
Rebels for you completely, so you should just watch it.
I'm going to. I gotta finish Clone Wars first. Season 5. I'm in Season 5.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fair.
Dan,
You got anything?
goal me.
You got, Dan?
Oh, for goals?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I mean, that's this whole segment, so.
I'm supposed to have goals? Just kidding. Now, my goals for the year, on a personal level, just I need to get a house. Need to change the studio. Yeah.
You might have picked it. You should have fucking done it like a year ago, Dan.
I should have fucking done it about a year ago, but
Like, just watching the market is fucking insane.
How'd you not
Yeah,
predict
it's
COVID
fucking-
was going to happen?
Seriously.
how
did you not see this coming? It's pretty blatant.
I mean, maybe I'm the one who made it happen, and now I have the actual money to do it. Yep, that's right. I work in Wuhan, China.
I'm going to get the Twisted Tea again.
Just kidding.
Well, I guess mine's not quite as big as Dan because I already have the house. But
Cool, it's Jeremy's house.
Just buy his.
good luck. Yeah, I'll sell you mine, Dan.
$2,
Fuck off.
$3,
This just from the few years I've fucking owned this thing, it's gone up drastically. It's
$4, and I'll take Torin
Wonderful.
off your hands.
what are you taking, Torin?
Yeah.
It's almost a fair deal. She's kind of a pretty kid though, like so. I feel like she's.
How about
worth
when
a lot.
it's
I was
inconvenient
actually
for
gonna
you?
sell her. Just when I am tired of her. Yeah,
Mhm.
Dan, you gotta stop what you're doing. Take Torin.
Yeah. Mhm.
I mean, that'd probably be a deal. Uh, anyway, mine. I'm just getting more into the Star Wars literature and shit. So, going back into the comics. I haven't read the comics for a while and listening to some books on audio, on Audible and shit. So
Yeah.
that's after I do the first Thrawn, Dan.
First trilogy. Well, you
I'm
have
not.
to do.
I'm
Actually,
like
you have to do the first trilogy that's in Legends, and then
Right.
you have to do the rewrite, and then you can do that one.
whatever.
So you got like 6 books before you can read that one.
No, it's gonna be my next one because I just don't give a fuck.
Yeah, I'm actually in the same boat. Mandalorian really got me going, and I was like, you know what? I just need to start reading some Star Wars. Thrawn, he's being introduced. I'd like to read up on him. I know Dan recommends him wholeheartedly, and Timothy Zahn as an author, so I'd be interested in reading some of that. We got some new Star Wars era stuff coming out. High Republic is coming out like this month. Some new stuff there. I want to read some more horror books. I think I just need to read just some more in general. I never ended up finishing Doctor Sleep. I really want to finish it. I stopped traveling for work, so I was like, just put it to a halt because I was listening on Audible.
Yeah, I want to clarify that when Coopbacca over there says read, he actually means listen to on Audible because
Hold
he
on,
can't
hold on.
read.
I can. No, I don't. I'm just not good at it. Okay. And not that I legitimately like struggle like reading words. It's like I just suck at comprehending what is happening, and I misread everything. So it's
Yeah,
fine.
can't read.
I am listening to a book right now, and the reason I'm listening to it is because apparently the way it's written is in like play format. Like, so everybody was like, this is a really weird book to read because it's like written like a play. And so they're like, I didn't like reading it because it was made for an audiobook, and that they obviously made it and translated. But that's the Count Dooku, the Jedi Lost. It's like the story of him and Asajj. I think before Clone Wars.
Right. Just FYI, was he breaking up for you at all, Dan?
Yeah, a little bit.
A little
I
bit?
think you're just getting a little far from your mic or what.
Okay.
But
I'll scoot up.
yeah, I can't blame you. It's not like I don't really have time to fucking sit down and read. I mean,
Yeah.
apparently I've got time to do this, but like, if I'm doing this, I'm not reading honestly. So I just listen to shit because it's easier to do while I work and
Yeah.
other things.
I get
So I
that.
can't really blame you at this point.
Yeah, it's just finding time.
I have a book. Read.
Ready
You
for
also
it?
I'm
have-
reading right now.
No one in your life to take time away from you, Dan. So
Ooh.
shots fired.
I heard him drop something from
that
across
was a
the
good
hallway
reaction.
over here. Yeah, I don't know.
Wow, we talked about my personal life being off limits, Jeremy.
I don't think we ever said that.
Weren't you just talking about how you wanted to tell all the single ladies out there?
Exactly.
This interview is over.
Good thing it's not an interview, is
I'm only here so I don't get fined.
it?
All right, Dan. What's your next goal?
Another goal I have for the year. I also want to get a new vehicle, but a house and a vehicle in the same year might be a stretch.
Yeah.
But I might have to. By new vehicle, I don't mean like a new vehicle for me. Like I could do that, get a used vehicle. I want
You
like
just need a
new
different vehicle.
car. Well, I need a
Like-
different vehicle now, probably. But
Like you want an
like
actual?
I mean,
brand
like
new
I
one?
want a new car, like a nice car.
Yeah.
Like something that I can rely on for the next few years instead of just a, used something that I'm gonna buy for a few $100s.
That's fair.
We get that $2,000 from the government. Very nice.
Nope.
Just kidding.
No money for you, Dan. Yeah, I don't fucking know. One of the things I kind of want to get for my collection is, again, I'm kind of okay with cars at the point, but I have a shit ton of comics, and I'd really either like to get some of my comics slabbed or get some slabbed comics that I really like.
Mm-hmm.
I think it'd be just cool to add to the collection,
Yeah, that'd be sweet.
right? If I can stop buying hot toys, maybe.
No. They're dangerous. This one you guys will wholeheartedly agree. This year I would really like to watch Lord of the Rings for the first time.
Get
As
on it.
if. I don't believe it.
I've watched the first one and it was watched about half, and then I got really drunk, and then I watched the second half like a long time after, and I was pretty confused because I didn't remember what was happening.
I don't believe it.
I
Also,
will.
read the books.
Mhm.
I actually
Yeah,
had
you
a
gotta- enough to read.
I was genuinely shocked when Gandalf died. Because I always,
Spoilers.
sorry for everybody else that hasn't seen it and is like me.
Yeah, all three people.
Yeah.
In all fairness,
Oh.
Rose was one of those people until I don't remember when we watched them this year. It was last year, but it was like probably November, October.
Yeah, I'll watch
But
them. I will.
we also watched them in an entire weekend and have 3 children, so
I know. I just need to sit the fuck down and just watch them.
do it. You got
Dan?
any like watching goals, Dan?
Watching goals?
Yeah.
No.
Citizen Kane.
Me. I do want to see Citizen Kane's. But, like, if I don't really have any goals to watch anything because I know I'm going to watch things, so it's not really a goal. It's just like, oh, I'm excited for this year.
Okay, so what's something you're excited to watch?
Well, new season of Stranger Things. Because I don't have Netflix right now. But I might have to re-get it when Stranger Things come out or steal someone's account.
Just
Hopefully
make a
the
free
second
trial for like 7 days.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they released the last one weekly, didn't they?
They might have to discourage
No.
that.
I'm
Dang.
pretty sure they did, but
Just wait for the whole season to come out.
Yeah,
there you go.
have to.
Avoid spoilers for
Yeah.
8 weeks.
Just
So, yeah.
impossible.
So excited for that. So I'm excited to see some of these new Star Wars shows so I can critique them. But again, not really a goal, just something I'm gonna watch. Timothy Zahn comes out with a new book in April. In that same Thrawn series, the third Thrawn series he's written, really. So I'm gonna read that book when it comes out. And I don't know when the third book is coming out because the second comes out in April, but the third one comes out like September, which is what my guess would be. They haven't released a date for it. Read that too. Those are just plans that I know are going to happen because I have no other life. You know how it is. Not really, but you know.
Yeah. Jay Remy.
I'm pretty fucking excited for WandaVision, so obviously that one's gonna be a weekly thing for me. I don't really think I have anything that I need to really watch to catch up. Oh, I fucking lied. So I started that time I got reincarnated by a slime anime, and I'm gonna finish that. And I got a couple more animes that I want to watch, but some more manga to read and shit. Pretty basic. I gotta finish My Heroes manga because it was just getting good. And I walked away for some reason, or stopped reading it, just because it's hard to find time to actually read shit.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well,
What else you got?
another one I got is to really hope to finish my tattoo sleeve on this arm. Showed up again, but that's what I got so far. But I think hopefully if I can get in this month, I would like to get in, and I'm going to do some more right here. And obviously finish everything underneath. I don't know. I'd really like to get it done by the end of the year. I know be kind of cutting it close and spending a lot of money, but it's something I really want to do.
It's money, Coop.
It's money. I like spending it.
Might as well.
Mm-hmm.
Can't take it with you.
Nope. Dan?
Let's see. In general, I want to be a little bit more of a dick. Decided that I was too sweet last year. Kind
To
of want to
who?
be an asshole this year.
Yeah,
Too many people. Too many people. Not to you
Damn.
guys. Even though I do
Clearly.
plan on being a little bit more of a dick to you.
Damn.
No, be more assertive. But in my head, being more assertive means be a little bit more of a dick.
Okay. Jeremy, do you have any personal goals, like something about yourself that you would want to work on?
Yeah. So, one of the things I've kind of gone back to, and I've been working on a little bit with Rose, is learning Spanish again. Just because I did take the 2 years in high school, but I really think the 2 years of German afterwards really fucked up more of the Spanish than I learned of German.
Yeah, it's kind of an odd one to teach in school. I guess where it's
So-
not necessarily super useful.
What more do you need to know in a language than how to ask for someone's telephone number and be like, "Hey, mami"?
Hola, señorita.
Exactly.
Well, I mean,
Or
since I already
German,
have a
if not,
wife.
"Was ist dein telephone number?" And then you need to know the numbers, so when she tells you, you can do that. And then everything else is just Google Translate.
Mm-hmm. Big. Talk into this.
Exactly. But once you get texting, you can just be like, "How do I tell it?" Hey, mami. In Spanish, which is how you say
Yeah,
it.
I don't know. Well, the other thing too is that it does have there's a pay incentive at work if I'm bilingual. So if I actually did it
Mm,
properly,
Yes.
that'd be legit.
increase my pay. So
So you have to pass a test.
I don't
How do they
fucking know.
determine that?
I don't
Can
know.
you just say you're bilingual?
I thought about it because I feel like I
No,
I can understand a lot, but I don't know how to speak it.
That'd be funny.
Yeah, I was always wondering about that too.
Big. Oh, go ahead. Can I take it again tomorrow if I don't get it?
Yeah, anyone that's watched Dora the Explorer is like, oh, let's do this.
Yep. That's funny. I think they actually make I don't know if they were glasses or like headphones or something, or if they were like the smart glasses, but there's something with like built-in translate that like when you're talking to somebody and they talk back to you, it translates it in real time and like you hear it. It's pretty legit.
Yeah, it is. That'd be pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Which is nice, but then also talking to them, if they don't have that, You're just like, I understand what you said, but
Yeah.
Google Translate. That's why it's the best. Then you just text your entire relationship with that person. They're like, oh, you can speak Spanish/German, sort of, even though you said the car is blue as the bluest car. But whatever.
Mhm.
Don't judge me.
Same thing.
Uh.
Something I would like to, I don't know, I guess personal kind of goals for me. I don't know, I guess I could just do one for now, but
Go for it.
I want to become more confident in myself and things, and just making decisions, and I don't know, just being more confident in my actions and everything that I do. I feel like I'm hesitant. I always need validation instead of just being like, fuck it, that's what I want to do, so I'm just gonna do it.
Do it, man. I try to help you. That's why, as much as I give you shit for when I tell you to buy shit, like, you're either going to tell me no, or guess what? You just get to buy it and have this thing that you wanted anyway, kind of.
I know, because I'm always like, I want to buy this, and I'm like, oh, Jeremy, should I buy this? Justin, should I buy this? I need like justification so I don't feel bad. I'm like, just fucking do it. I don't give a fuck.
It's the easiest way to do it, man.
I don't know. Did you guys have any more personal goals? Because I had like a couple more, so I didn't want to like say them all, and you have more.
And take over the universe and destroy all humans. I've got nothing.
Jeff Bezos is already working on it.
Yeah, but I'm gonna get to it first.
All right.
Yeah, I can't really think of much that, I don't know, that isn't just a thought at this point, so.
Yeah. The other ones I had, this one's a little more personal. People don't really know. If they don't know me, they don't understand. But I want to figure out what's wrong with my stomach and why every time I fucking eat, I get sick. And so I think I am finally just going to go to the doctor this year and just do it.
I think I have a solution to that, and it involves, like, every time you eat what's on your shirt.
Ooh. It's true. Yeah. I'm just going to stop wearing shirts so then I have to eat people.
That's a good Taco Bell joke.
I do eat a lot of Taco Bell. This was a Christmas gift. Okay.
It's not an excuse.
And another one that I catch myself doing all the time, I say a lot. I feel like it makes me sound, I don't know what the word is, but like I'll do it at work. I feel like I sound less professional and less, kind of going back to the confidence thing. If somebody asks me a question, I'm like, yeah, so I think you just do this, and I feel like they're like, I don't know if he actually knows what he's talking about. So that's another one. I just want to, I don't know, just like establish a thought and a sentence before I actually start speaking.
Become a news anchor, and then we can make a drinking game out of it.
Oh, could do that. Let's make a drinking game out of this episode, and we'll go back and watch it. And every time that I say in the episode, I have to take a shot.
Ooh.
Be a good way to proof watch our shit.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Till we get so drunk that we don't remember after, a minute and.
Yep.
Dan, what else do you got? What else kind of goals?
Let's see. Let's see. I feel like 2020 was a good year to cancel people. So I think this year we're rebooting them. So we're gonna try to restart them, but make them better. It's like last year we canceled them. This year we're changing them.
So Kevin Spacey can finally come back?
As Spacey. We're changing him completely. He's got to be a woman now.
Kevin Spacey.
Stacy Spacey,
Mm.
porn star Kevin Spacey.
See, that's
Uh,
I don't know if he could become a porn star. I feel like
Well,
that'd be
I
a
mean,
terrible industry for him to go into, being what he did. I suppose it might be okay. I suppose if he started asking for consent and it was only with legal adults.
Well, there you go. It's like everything has a purpose, and that's he's finally realized, and now he's going to spread it
Yep.
through his art
Mm-hmm.
as a porn star.
He'll really spread it.
Stacy Spacey. Yeah.
Spread it. Just all
Also,
over
he's
the
the
place.
woman because he's the one who's going to get fucked.
Unless he's like a dominatrix, where the women are the dominant.
Yeah, he doesn't deserve that though. This is all about changing
That's
people
true. Yeah.
into better versions or the best versions of themselves.
Yeah.
And Kevin Spacey is obviously the best version of him. Is a
Yeah.
woman. Who's a porn star.
Needs to be more on the receiving end of things
Yes.
from now on.
That's we're rebooting people to make them the best version of themselves.
Okay.
No longer canceling them.
O.J. Simpson. I know that wasn't last year, but
Let's see.
Just
We
looking
canceled
at
him last
how
year. He needs to go back into the NFL as an old man.
Yeah.
And play for the shittiest team I can think of. So
Cowboys?
Cowboys.
not the Eagles or something. He's gonna go play running back for the Eagles as an old man. Yep. And just get smashed every single time.
Mm-hmm.
Which the Eagles deserve getting OJ because they threw the game at the end of the season. So don't cancel them, reboot them.
I think everyone's so mad at that.
I'm actually not that mad.
I know you're not, but everyone else is, and it's stupid.
I think it was just how blatant it was, and then them kind of trying to make an excuse, being like, "We were trying to win." It's like,
Yeah. If you're gonna do it, you don't make it obvious. You just call the wrong plays.
yeah.
It's not that hard.
Just let Jalen Hurts try and throw the ball. Like,
No, you just do like, oh, let's do a flea flicker 3 times in a row.
kick a field
Be
goal
like-
from the.
I feel like
your own
that's almost
30-yard
as
line.
obvious as putting Studfeld in, though.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, Coop's right. You just probably let Jalen keep throwing it because he was not doing great at all
Yeah, it's
that fucking game. But
they just
of
call
course,
too much
you get a lucky
attention to it.
PI. Right.
Worst case, you're just like, defensive coordinator, I need you to throw this game. Let them score. Don't let us win.
We make Ray Rice this year elevator attendant.
Mm-hmm. Smart.
Yep.
Like a bellboy, kind of.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just what we're doing. Trump, we put in a swamp. Actual swamp. He has to live there the whole year.
Dang.
You just bury him like Major Payne did to the kids in training camp.
Kinda.
Is he gonna be in the second season of Swamp Thing?
That'd be sweet.
Yeah,
He's gonna become the Swamp Thing.
exactly.
Like, where did Trump go?
These are how we do things now. I think we don't cancel people. We just give them justice in the way they deserve.
What fucking Trump just fucking becomes, what the hell is the fucking the Adult Swim with the little octopus heads? Yeah, you gotta know what I'm fucking talking about. Gotta go find it now.
Squidbillies?
Squidbillies, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I imagined when we said that. It's just his head pops off his fucking body and it's running around with his hair, his tentacles.
Yeah. See it.
So Dan's fixing people, Cooper's bettering himself, and I'm just gonna collect more shit because that's what I do. Probably fix. I got a few cars to fix, so it's probably one of my other goals when I have no time to do anything. You know,
Mm-hmm.
that includes even helping Dan fix his Colorado
Yeah,
maybe.
which we've been trying to do for months now. So busy.
Been contemplating it. Okay.
Yep. That's good. I've been super busy too. This Saturday is my first Saturday off in like 4 months.
Yeah, if I didn't take vacation time last week, I wouldn't have had one off for a while.
You need to work more, Dan. That should be your goal.
Yeah. I thought I would have like the whole weekend off, and now it's just like maybe just Saturday. But it's still a maybe. It's like maybe you'll have Sunday off too, but maybe not. So I'm like, well, when will I know? Friday. So it's like I'm going Friday knowing I have Saturday off. But might be there.
can't make any plans.
Yep. So I can't even make any like real plans for the weekend. I have some plans Saturday with Bentley, but that's about it. Could take my nephew. One person that's actually in my life, Jeremy.
He doesn't count. He doesn't want to be in your life. Oh, I'm sorry, that's kind of mean.
Jeez, Jeremy.
I know. I got really hard there.
Just rude. It's fine.
You're rude.
It's true.
So what are you gonna finish your tattoo with?
Um.
I don't remember if you told me or not.
So right here, I'm kind of trying to reenact it with my hand. It's gonna be the face hugger on my elbow, and it's probably just gonna go down and like wrap around my wrist here, and then like on the outside of my arm, I'm gonna do a big shining piece, and then underneath my bicep here is gonna be Jaws. Do a big Jaws scene right here. I don't know. We talked about fitting the creature of the Black Lagoon somewhere in right here, just because it's not even necessarily that I love the creature from the Black Lagoon, but I just like his design so much for whatever reason. It's just cool. And then I think on the underside of my forearm, I'd like to do something with like American Psycho and Scream somehow. Like maybe do like a big like knife and then have like one half of like Ghostface's face on one side and one half of like Patrick Bateman's face on the other side. Like all bloodied up or something. Just because they obviously both use a fucking knife. But yeah. Just finish out my horror sleeve. I wish I could go into my hands, but I'm too scared. I think in my industry or profession, they're a lot more strict about it, and it's kind of annoying, but at least if I stop at like the wrist, I can at least wear like a long sleeve dress shirt. Not have to worry about it.
Didn't you just get into Alien like this last year?
I did. I watched all of the Alien movies this year. And I fucking
Which one was your favorite?
I probably number one. The original. Alien was fucking phenomenal. Aliens was good. Reminded me a little bit too much of like an old like 80s action movie, which was fine, but I liked the suspense part of the first one. Alien 3 was weird. Alien Resurrection was not good. Alien versus Predator was actually a lot better than I thought it was going to be. Because from what I understood,
Pretty good movie for.
yeah, I mean, I just anticipated like an early 2000s shitty action movie, which it kind of, I mean, it was, but it was like, I don't know, thought it was better. Requiem was, I didn't like it as much as Alien vs. Predator, but I thought it was still good. And then I watched Alien Covenant and Prometheus. I actually fucking loved both of those. A lot of people didn't like Prometheus because it was really slow and there was not a lot of alien in
Right.
it.
It was very suspenseful. And
But it was like
it makes sense why you like it. Yeah.
it was just like the build up and the creation of the Xenomorph. It's like, that's fucking sweet. I'd probably say Covenant was probably, or sorry, Prometheus was probably my second favorite, and Covenant might be my number 3. I loved it though. As soon as I saw all those movies, I'm like, I'm fucking getting a facehugger tattoo. I don't give a fuck. I guess the rest of the stuff that I had was just want to try and make some more time to edit videos and get better at editing and start uploading a little more often to my personal channel, like videos outside of just the podcast. Just takes up a lot of time, but I don't know. I think I just need to dedicate some time and stop being so what is the OCD about getting every little edit right, because I focus way too much on little things. I'm like, oh, that doesn't sound good, and I'm like, nobody's even gonna notice except myself, so like, just chill the fuck out. And I'd just like to hang out with my friends and family more if I can. Last year was a terrible time to do that. I'm hoping that this year becomes a little bit better and a little more lenient, and hopefully this COVID shit kind of goes away. I'm really hoping that it's just at least minimized by the end of this year. I don't expect it to be gone for, I mean, I'm sure it's going to be around forever, but
Right.
just
Hopefully.
mitigated to like the flu, where we can at least control it. That's all I had. That's kind of my list for the year.
Rad, bro.
Did you have anything else, Dan?
Not that I can think of. I don't know. I just just want to be, financially stable this year.
Yeah.
Don't really
Overrated.
care about much else.
What about you, Jeremy?
I don't know. Yeah, I learned a couple little personal growth things like the Spanish and shit, and more collections. Maybe a couple more tattoos. Just more spending money and kind of living how you want to live. But
Yeah, it's kind of how I am. Like, I was gonna say save money, but I was like, I don't know. I just want to buy stuff and get things that make me happy, and that's just what I want to do.
exactly.
Stop spending my money so much on stupid shit and I guess stuff that I just don't need to spend money on, and spend it on something that I'd rather really want to keep. Like hot toys. Very expensive, but they're fucking amazing. I get excited every time.
Ooh, that's what she said.
Not true.
I guess so.
Like, I was excited the first few times.
Then she lost it. Yeah, I know. I know the story.
Yeah. All right. Well, if you guys don't have anything else, we can transition into our final segment. We're going to be discussing our top 10 favorite Batman gadgets from Batman's arsenal. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back right after this.
Thank you for listening to the Daggum Podcast. There are new episodes available every Monday on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and more. Stay tuned as we move on to our next segment of the episode. Enjoy!
Hello, and welcome to the final segment of the episode. We're going to be discussing our top 10 favorite Batman gadgets from his arsenal. So this includes, just utilities, weapons, vehicles, anything that he uses like as a utility. That's what we've considered a gadget. So I will start with my number 10. So I don't actually know if he's used this in any of the movies, but I really liked using it in all the Arkham games, and it is his explosive gel. So he's got like a little gun thing that has like explosive gel and, breakable walls that he might need to get through, anything like that, any barriers that he needs to get through. And you can also use them as like a transition into like fighting a big crowd of people. He just sprays it on, and he actually does it in like a Batman logo when he does it. It's kind of cool. And then he has a little remote that blows it up. So I really like that one. Yeah, it's pretty sweet.
Yeah, that looks like a useful tool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Explosive gel sounds a little sexy as well.
It does.
Nice. Yeah.
It could be a lubricant brand.
Explosive gel. Batman's explosive gel. Ooh, DC Comics, get at me for a merchandising opportunity.
They probably already have it trademarked, Dan. Sorry.
Well, I can't buy it on the market, can I? Oh wait, let me. But I'll figure it out.
Sure as shit, you probably can.
Yeah, just copyrighted DC. Explosive gel. Batman's explosive gel.
What do you got for 10, Dan?
Obviously, I have shark repellent. Only the best repellent for sharks ever by Batman.
It's true. It's true.
I just love that it's canonical. It's like, yeah, he needs.
I remember watching that scene when I was really young with my dad because we were going through Netflix, I think. I was like, oh my God, did you watch this when you were young? Was this the Batman that you... I mean, my dad wasn't actually ever really into superheroes. He's like, no, I never even watched it. I was like, oh, okay. And I turned it on and then got to the scene where he's up on the ladder of the helicopter and the shark is like attached to the ladder. And he's like, get the shark repellent. I'm like, what the fuck?
That's the best.
It's like Batman really does have everything in any situation.
Yep. Gotta have that.
That was my honorable mention. I removed it for explosive gel.
I like its use in the Lego movie more, but yeah. Robin's like, can I have the shark repellent? Batman's like, actually, yeah.
Yeah.
You take that. We won't need that. And then it comes in handy later. It's like, prepared.
What about you,
Lego
Jeremy?
Batman, underrated.
It is. It's one of the best Batman movies that's been made.
Fantastic.
Really.
So my number 10, this one just sheerly because I enjoyed it for some reason as a kid, was the fucking snow skiff that they had in Batman and Robin with Mr. Freeze. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I just like the way they fucking decorated those ones, and watching that little fucking bat skiff just fucking fly across the ice was great.
Yeah. That's fair. I like that one. Dan, how do you feel about it? Do you like it? Do you hate it? You indifferent?
Yeah, it's cool. It's fine. Right?
Plus, it's one of those ones that you just never, like, he doesn't use often, so it's like, I don't know, it's fun to see.
Yeah. Okay. Well, my number 9, I kind of combined 2 into 1. I mean, you'll kind of understand. Was his kryptonite ring / spear. So, I mean, he's used a couple different kryptonite weapons when fighting Superman and Kryptonians, but I thought it was pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Batman vs. Superman, obviously, he used the kryptonite spear and is pretty badass. And, in the comics, when he uses the kryptonite ring, it's also pretty sweet. It's just cool. I like it.
It's nice. Yeah, this is on my list, so I won't talk too much about it. I'll use a specific instance of a cool part about it later. But yeah, kryptonite ring, definitely. I like how he's always prepared for anything, and he knows that Superman could be a problem if he ever went rogue, or he knows that Kryptonians exist. So he's like, what if there's a bad Superman? Gotta be prepared.
# injustice. It's a great storyline. Love it.
Yeah, so the crypto ring is on mine too. It's a little bit higher up, but
Mine is also a little bit higher up. So
it's a good choice, Coop.
Thanks. Yeah.
all right. So my next one, this gotta extrapolate a little bit here. I'm going with Alfred. It's not technically a gadget, but his communication with Alfred is vital to Batman's success. So you can say his communicator is like in cowl little communication that keeps him in contact with Alfred, who's at the Bat computer or whatever. But without Alfred, Batman doesn't really have much of a chance. And sometimes
That's true. Alfred's probably his best sidekick. Underrated.
Yep.
Yeah.
Smart as fuck. And without Alfred, Batman would probably be a fucking murdering criminal by now. He keeps him sane.
Still don't know if I'd put him quite on the accessories list, but yeah.
That's what I said. You can say the communicator, but you
Fair
can't say the
enough.
communicator is good without Alfred.
All right.
So it's like,
all
it's
right.
really Alfred that's the good part of that.
Well, in that case, I
Not
want to
the
use
communicator.
Oracle. No, I'm just kidding. It's fine.
It's fine. That's better later.
That's fine. Yeah. Jeremy, what about you? Number 9.
Numero 9. I went with just his cape. It's pretty fucking versatile, as far as like a fire deterrent, fucking glider. Pretty sure I feel like versions of him are bulletproof and all that shit.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
it just does every fucking thing you can think. So,
Yeah.
This is also on my list, and I wanted to go into how I was going to talk about how it kind of made Batman like a little bit of a Mary Sue. It's a good plot device because it's like,
right.
oh, his cape can do that,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But
only-
like, even if you took some of the overpowered bit, just being able to glide with it, like you stuck to that, it's still pretty
Yeah.
fucking cool.
Yeah.
Gives them very good mobility.
I did like what they did in the Batman trilogy, where they're like, yeah, and it made sense. It's like, oh, it makes it rigid, allows you to glide. I'm like, that's smart.
Right.
Yeah, his cape's good. I don't have it on my list, but yeah, cape is a very handy tool that it's not just for show. It's actually used. And I think it's only fair that he can use it as a fucking almost kind of like a superpower because it's like he doesn't get superpowers. Just let him have that. Yeah, I like it. Mine kind of plays into that a little bit. Mine's his grappling gun. Grappling gun obviously allows him to get to high places, and obviously without his cape, he couldn't really get down. So yeah, I totally understand the use of it, but yeah, I like the idea. He can't fly, but with his grappling gun, he can shoot up and jump off a building if he needs to. In the Arkham games, you can kind of like swing how you do with webs in Spider-Man, where he grapples to something and then you shoot up, and then because it propels you
Right.
up, and then you can kind of fly around a little bit. So that's pretty sweet.
Is also on my list.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I won't talk too much about it. But yeah, it does.
So was grappling your 8 or 9, Coop?
8.
Okay, yeah, because I actually had grappling in 8 too, mainly because again it allows him to use his fucking cape,
Yeah.
and then who in the world doesn't just want to have a grappling gun? Like,
I know,
I've thought
right?
about building one a couple different times just because, like, why not? But then I'm like, I have children, so someone's gonna die if I do. Yeah.
But yeah, it's a pretty sweet though.
Yep. So my number 8 is the cape.
Yeah.
So yeah, pretty close to where you added Jeremy. But yeah, it's a like, it can be used in so many different ways. He even uses it to, like, in the Batman movie, throws it at a guy, cover his face so the guy can't see him, blinds him, pummels him. The only person I can think of with a better cape is Doctor Strange. Like, as capes go, you got Doctor Strange, then Batman.
It's a very good point. Yeah.
Yep.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Okay, and then
Incredibles wouldn't be happy about the cape.
yeah,
Whatever her name is, Incredibles, she'd be like, no.
And
But Batman makes it work.
Edna mode.
Yeah.
Okay, and so you already said your number 8, Jeremy, right? Because it was the grappling
yeah,
gun.
with
Okay. All right. So my number 7. You guys might have it a little higher. Dan said he didn't even have it on his list. But it's the Batarang. I mean, it's one of his most iconic weapons. That plays into it a little bit, factors into my choice, and also the use of it in the Arkham video games, having all the different kind of batarangs that he uses. The remote control batarangs. Those are all pretty sweet. The ones he shoots out of his wrist guards, those are sweet. Batarang's just a pretty versatile weapon with all the different uses that you can use for it. So it's not just just a regular Batarang, but the whole Batarang concept, I guess. Pretty great.
Yeah. My only the reason it's not on my list is because I think it's misnamed. So Batarang is a misnomer for it. It should be more like a Bat Shuriken or a Batakin. Because do you ever really see it come back? And I know in the comics, but in the live action stuff, it's way more like a shuriken. Like he's throwing them like shurikens or knives.
It's true. Yeah, they definitely don't really come back.
Yep,
that's fair.
Your Dan, what's your 7? Or did we already do your 7, Dan?
No.
Ready for my 7? Well, we technically already did my 7 because it's the grappling gun.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah. So about the grappling gun, the one thing I don't like about it is so at least in the movie, where he uses like the balloon with the grappling gun, which is like they're trying to highlight, and the plane comes and swoops him. If you do the math, that's impossible. It'll tear your arm off, by the way, because you accelerate too fast.
Yeah.
Which is like having a gas-powered grappling gun there's a problem with acceleration. You see the same problem in like Legend of Zelda, his little grappling hook. You accelerate way too fast. It's unrealistic. Your arm would pull off. But yeah, it's a little bit of a OP gun. Like it's definitely the nicest grappling gun you could have, Batman's.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. The hookshot's pretty good too, though.
Yep.
Like as far as like just fictional,
Yeah,
grappling things, especially when you get to dual wield them. The fucking game theory version of that, or the game theory video of the hookshot's pretty great. Number 7, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I went with the Bat credit card because it just made me laugh when I saw it every fucking time.
I was gonna bring that up earlier, but then I was like, they might have it on the list, so I'm not gonna mention it.
It was just so stupid that I had to put it on the list because it was like it's one of those ones that just makes you chuckle.
I wonder what his limit is.
I want to know what the credit score on the Bat credit card is. So, like, does Batman have a separate credit score with Bruce Wayne?
Right, exactly. I wanted to know the whole fucking logistics behind it. Did you just walk into a bank like I'm Batman and just get money?
I need a credit card.
They're like, what's your social security number, Batman? I'm Batman.
It's probably not even his. It's probably Alfred's. But he's like, this is a Bat credit card.
Yeah.
That's a good one, though. I like it. All right, so that was number 7, right?
Yeah.
Now I'm on my number 6. All right, so my number 6 is the Batsuit Taser. I mean, it's not useful all the time, but for the practicality of it, it's pretty great. Obviously, Batman's always trying to hide his identity, so it protects from anybody trying to take off his mask. Fucking tases him, and then also if he gets knocked unconscious, he could also tase him. We saw it a little bit in the Dark Knight trilogy, when he was when Joker was trying to get Batman to hit him, and he swerves off and wrecks, and he's just kind of unconscious, and they go to grab him. Like, yeah, I like it. It's a good tool for him because obviously, I was just trying to think. I was like, well, how does he protect his identity? Like, what happens if he gets knocked out? It's like, yeah,
Suit taser.
Yeah.
It's the most
Well,
logical thing.
I don't like about that is logistically it provides for like, okay, Batman's seriously injured, he needs CPR, or he needs mouth to mouth. You go to take off his mask and you're trying to save his life, and now you get tasered.
It would be kind of funny though in that situation.
Yep.
What if it seconds as like a defibrillator?
I mean, maybe it does. Who knows?
At least that takes care of one of the problems.
Yeah.
Can't help with the mouth to mouth, but
Batman, we really need to remove you. Go, no, you can't.
I don't need to breathe.
Don't look at me. Batman, 6 of your ribs are broken. No.
Hang on, Dan. So mine. I did fucking the suit taser for 6 too.
Okay.
So sorry, Dan. I had to skip you real quick just because it only makes sense since we're on that same fucking thing. Yeah. Obviously he uses it for offensive shit too if he really needs to. So it's just universally great. What you got, Dan?
My number 6 is the bat sub. And the reason I like the bat sub here is I love how you can just put the term bat before any vehicle and it becomes Batman's vehicle. So it's like, oh, let's go to the bat sub or the batacopter, you know, whatever, and he has it.
Wonder if he has a bat bus.
To the bat bus, school children. That'd be great. And it's just black with like wings on the side.
Yeah.
She's just driving it. Someone call DC because that's great.
Yep. We need a bat bus.
It would probably be his fucking zombie bus for the apocalypse. Like, you know, it would be just fucking bat chainsaws out the side, cutting up fucking zombies.
That'd be pretty great.
They're the bat bus, Alfred.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I like the bat sub, and like stylistically, it's a pretty cool looking vehicle, but also
I like
hilarious.
It's pretty sweet.
Yep.
It's pretty ridiculous, but I love it.
Yeah.
It's funny because there's so many serious things that he's used, and some that you're just like, what the fuck?
The bat sub is like semi-serious. He usually uses it by Penguin, so it's like he uses
it's just funny.
that one pretty consistently. But the reason I put it on there is just it's funny that you can put bat in front of anything, and it's like, yep, that's the vehicle.
That's like my favorite meme for Batman too. Is like Robin asking what's wrong with the fucking Batmobile, and he's like, "Did you check the battery?" And he's like, "What's a fucking tray?"
All right. Number 5. I did, and I guess it's used kind of differently throughout all the different mediums, but I did his sonar, like being able to like scout everybody. He did it in the Dark Knight, you know, when he was trying to scan throughout the building, but it was actually really useful in all the Arkham games too. You know, you're about to take over like a little warehouse or something, you can see where all the thugs are at, and you can see all their heartbeats and things like that, so you can see when people are like knocked unconscious and who's armed and stuff like that. I saw it was sweet. I liked it.
It is the one thing that makes him like a bat.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and it's sonar, so it actually makes sense.
Yep. Although the Daredevil does it better. So.
Daredevil does do it well. Number 5, Dan.
5. Okay, so my number 5. I'm just gonna preface this that Jeff Bezos should already have one of these in existence, and the fact that he doesn't is why he's not a good person. But I go with the supercomputer. Batman's computer is like the height of technology. The computer just knows everything, does everything. The closest, like it's basically that and Iron Man's AIs are the smartest things in comics. You can just ask him anything. It's like, to the supercomputer. Or I'll just plug it in my supercomputer and it'll spit out the information.
Yeah. I have it on my list, so I won't talk too much about it, but yeah, Bat computer's great.
So 5. I had the kryptonite defenses here. You know, you got the spear and the fucking ring, and yeah. Obviously, you've already talked about it. His readiness for everything obviously is what makes Batman Batman. So being ready to take down any Kryptonian at any point, it's just makes it pretty badass.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I already said my 2 cents on it. I like it, and Dan has it on his list. So
It's on my list, so I'll talk a little bit more in
Yeah.
a few minutes.
all right, so my number 4. So this one, it wasn't Bruce Wayne Batman, but it was Batman still, so I counted it. It was the Sean Paul Valley Batman. It was Nightfall Batman. So when Batman gets when Bane breaks the bat, essentially, and John Paul Valley takes over as Batman, and he wears my favorite bat suit of all time, and his Nightfall gauntlets. Essentially, he's got pretty much claws at the end of them. I mean, they're essentially just knives. So like, he could pretty much just like slit the throat of anybody with a fucking punch. And it was just kind of insane. And I was like, this is incredible. I love it. So it was ridiculous and just badass and completely over the top.
Do you find it ironic that someone by Jean Paul that has been known to go by Jean Paul also has claws that come out of his fists? Wolverine?
Mhm.
Jean Paul John?
Yeah, we get it, Dan. Thanks.
Okay. I just want to make
Well,
sure.
yeah, I mean, I got it. I don't know. I guess I didn't know if Coop got it, but
I don't know if Coop even knows anything about Les Miserables or whatever.
No.
Okay.
I know Hugh Jackman sings in it. So I'm
Yes.
assuming it's his
His
character.
name's Jean Paul Jean in that movie, so it's a play.
Does he actually have claws in the movie? Because that'd be fucking hilarious.
They're retracted the whole time, but as Wolverine, you assume they are there.
Yeah. Makes sense. All right, number 4, Dan. What do you got?
So this is where I put the kryptonite ring. I think he's being prepared. Even in Batman Beyond, he still has kryptonite defenses.
Gotta be ready.
So, yep, where he like shows Terry, and he's like, "This is what we do," because Terry has to go up against Superman.
We need a live action Batman Beyond, damn it.
yeah, we do.
Ready for it. Now that Michael Keaton
yes.
signed on, man.
And you figure by like the time of Batman Beyond that he had to use it before, and so like Superman knows it's coming at that point too, but it's still like, we got it.
Yep.
Huh.
Makes him that much more of a threat, because then Superman's like, I can't really just fuck with Batman, because he's probably got that kryptonite ring.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, me and Jeremy have already discussed it. Yeah,
There's not
it's
much
pretty
I can say more than what's already been said. So,
what about you, Jeremy? Number 4.
numero quattro. So this is where I put the batarangs slash the more impressive one on this one, but I had to include the batarangs because it just makes sense. I don't know if you guys have ever seen the bat loaded ear, like the spring loaded bat ears.
Mm-hmm.
I just really like that idea of that little cheap quick shot. It's like, you think you got me, and then bam, you get fucking poked in the eye with a goddamn bat ear, and I don't know. It's just another one of those little.
I want to see him without his
like.
ears.
Right? They're just like
flat.
It's like fucking flat top Batman.
I just thought that was a weird way to aim with like him and like Boba Fett and the Mandalorians. You gotta like look over.
I know, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking was Boba Fett.
Yep.
I was aiming for the other one.
Yeah.
All right. Number 3 on my list, I have the computer. Yep, I got the Bat computer. It's a very versatile machine. It can do pretty much anything you want. It's, the stereotypical computer where you just ask it anything and it tells you. If you need to randomly access a criminal database, it's got you. Anything you need. So, we already kind of discussed it, but super useful. And even when he's away from it, he can kind of call to the computer or to Alfred, and it's super useful. And it's badass. And I want that as my gaming rig. How many 3080s do you think he has in there?
I don't know. The tech is kind of old. Maybe his graphics aren't 4K.
He's
I mean,
just
they are
on like a
now.
tiny. He's just on
Why do you
some
think
cheap
there's a shortage
monitors.
of them?
Yeah.
I know,
Uh,
ambassador. What you got? What you got for number 3, Daniel?
this is where I put the Batmobile. I figured it'd probably be a little lower than your guys, where you put the Batmobile at. But yeah, you have to include it. It's obviously very iconic. I think it's hard to know which one's my favorite. I like the one from the Dark Knight trilogy because of like rolls out into a motorcycle. I thought that was cool.
Mhm.
Also, it was the most grounded one, where there's like, yeah, this used to be, military tech, and it's like that makes sense. But also, anyone who worked at Wayne Enterprises should have known who Batman was at the same time. Where you're like, wait a second, that was in the R&D department last week. And then I also found it interesting that when Bane takes over Gotham, he like steals some of the same vehicles. So, it's like, oh, the Batman vehicle goes rogue. But I
Mhm.
also really like the phallic shaped one from what is it, Batman Beyond? Driving up walls.
Right.
Yeah. It's kind of hard to say. That one just looks cool. I would drive that.
There's a lot of good ones.
Mhm.
Yep.
It's hard to say if there's one that I don't like.
So the like original one, the one with the top down, I'm like, that's not practical. You want to
It's
shield
not,
yourself.
The,
but
the
but it
60s
looks
one.
great.
Yeah.
I'd drive that
does.
shit around.
Yeah. Not saying I wouldn't drive it. I'm just like,
No, I
it's
get you. I get you.
practical.
Yeah, it's obviously on my list, but so I'll talk about it a little bit more then. But yeah, Batmobile. I mean, obviously the most iconic, probably the most iconic superhero vehicle in general.
What about the Spider Jeep?
Not as iconic. We didn't get to see him use
Or is
that
it?
in
It's the
any of the
Spider Buggy.
movies.
It's a buggy, I think. Is it?
That's not true. It was in Spider-Verse, you stupid bitch.
Live action ones. I'm
You
saying
didn't
in
say
every
that.
live action Batman, we've seen a goddamn Batmobile.
That's because Batman's not cool to have his own power to get around the city.
Yeah. Does it shoot out webs from its like front area?
No, but
'Cause
that's why
that's-
I'm saying it's not as iconic.
Yeah, I know.
It's good though. I wish more superheroes use vehicles. It'd be kind of hilarious if you saw Superman have his own like car instead of flying. They're like, Superman,
Well,
we need you. He's just like, all right.
That's
You
what I
get in
always
the
thought was
car.
fucking funny about the Spider-Mobile is like, did you just run out of web fluid or what?
He just feels like driving today. Oh man, traffic's backed up today. Hopefully they can wait.
Like the reason Batman has vehicles, obviously, he's rich
Yeah.
and he can't get around as well as the other people. But everyone else gets a vehicle because of toys. So the
Right.
spider buggy or whatever it is purely created for toys.
Just for fun. Well,
Yeah.
right, yeah.
To sell toys. Yep.
So I mean, I get it, but
The invisible jet is the other iconic vehicle, but
Yeah,
you
it's
can't really
true.
sell that as a toy. Get it?
Yeah.
bam.
I have one right here. Can't you see it?
I
Oh,
mean, I
wait.
drive around all the time.
I have a full size one in my driveway, but
Nice.
I just can't see it. Jeremy, what's your
Numero
Um,
trays.
yeah.
This is where I put the power armor
Mm-hmm.
because obviously the Dark Knight story was just, I don't know, it's iconic to me. So, I like the fact that he built this badass suit to take down Superman. Of course he had to weaken him with kryptonite and shit, but like, you're not going to compete with him after he probably gets rid of the kryptonite. So
Yep. Well,
it's the only way to do it.
I'm not going to discuss it because it's on my
Yeah.
list.
Kind of figured it would be.
It's wonderful. It's wonderful.
Yeah, I didn't put it on my list. Just
Boo!
it makes me
Boo!
too close to Iron Man. I always felt like it was too Iron Man-y. Also, it's not even the best set of power armor in the DC like universe. Because Lex Luthor's
Lex
power armor
Luthor.
is so much better.
I mean, that's fair, but I still like it as a Batman accessory. Plus, you can't tell me it didn't give him one of the best Batman looks. Like
And
that.
it's cool.
I mean, it's one of the best looking Batmans in my opinion.
Also, like conceptually, it to have him like, oh, it's so he can fight on the level of Superman, like when he's helping Superman too, and I'm like, that's never been his like skill set to like hand to hand, but I guess but that's why I didn't make the list.
Wait, whose skill set wasn't hand to hand? Batman?
Like against monsters, he's always been more the like detective and the sneaky guy, so he's not
Yeah.
he's not the straight up bruiser like Superman would be.
But he's got to be against Superman.
I mean,
Because Superman's so much like almost at a human level, but he's just super powered. So he's like, I gotta protect myself because if I'm not wearing a suit, he's just gonna punch right through my fucking body. I don't know.
I like his ability to outsmart Superman more, not as like straight up bruiser. So that's why the Kryptonite ring makes it, and the power armor doesn't for me. It seems more on character to me.
You gotta remember, in the Dark Knight trilogy, what the fuck am I talking about? In the Dark Knight Returns, he's old. He's got to wear the armor. If he doesn't wear the armor, I mean, it probably gives him a little more strength because he's obviously like 70
Right.
fucking years old. It's like,
Yeah.
I don't have the strength as I did in my prime. But he's like, I gotta get some of that back with something,
Yeah. I think he wears it in Batman Beyond too, for the same reasons. But
Because he's old.
yeah, I like the thought of him passing the torch more at that point, though. But
Yeah.
whatever. That's why it's just like it makes him too Iron Man-y to me.
Fine. Well, my number 2 is the Batmobile. My favorite one was from Batman Forever and from Arkham Knight. I just thought the one in Batman Forever looked really cool. Wasn't super practical. I mean, just looked cool. But Arkham Knight was very versatile. Kind of like the Dark Knight trilogy, essentially. It's got the guns on it. It's bulletproof. It can do everything it needs to do in that. Once you guys play Arkham Knight, it's the first game you get to use the Batmobile. Spoiler alert.
Lego Batman, you can use the Batmobile, so
Bam.
Fine.
Good
I-
scrub.
you.
I'm saying the first time you get to use it in the Arkham series, because you don't get to use it in the other games.
You can
I
use it in
know.
both Lego Batmans. What now?
I'm also really looking forward to, just from the looks of it, Robert Pattinson's Batmobile. Straight up looks like a muscle car, and it fucking looks badass.
They stole that from Supernatural, so I'm not a fan.
Supernatural literally just has a muscle car.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's
But
badass.
So
this
they
one
stole
has
it
a
from
jet engine
everything.
on the back of it.
Yeah, Supernaturals doesn't.
Plus, if anything, I
The
feel
trunk
like
is full of ghost hunting stuff.
if anything, Supernatural stole that from fucking Punisher.
Maybe.
And Punisher, oh Jesus, and Punisher stole it from.
Shit.
It's a muscle car, Dan. There was nothing unique about it.
So, no. That's exactly.
It's an old time big. Because I'm pretty sure it looked like a Dodge, in the
Yeah.
fucking trailer. Which guess what? You can put a lot of shit and a lot of armor plating under those things and still let them run and do what you want to do.
The
So
way it sounded, I'm like, But yeah, Batmobile. Dan.
My
Who?
number 2 is so I don't know if this is part of his sonar or not, but the I know it does have like it's uses the sonic ability, so it's
Mhm.
I think it's tied into the same equipment as a sonar,
Mhm.
but the bat attraction So where he can like summon bats.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's
It's
pretty
just-
cool.
It's very Ant-Man-y, but it's just
Right.
cool.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to be the Batman, you got to be able to summon bats.
Be able to
Yeah.
do something with bats.
Also, did you know
And-
he's a vampire? No, I'm just kidding.
And I thought it was really well used in Batman Begins, especially when Scarecrow was like on his own toxin, and he's like, "Oh, or did he spray?" I think Scarecrow was on his own toxin at that
Yeah.
point. Yep, and he uses it to get away from the police. Batman does. He's like, "Well, I need a distraction." Bam, bats. Batman. I dream of bats just like a bat would.
Yeah.
Gonna get
Is
my
it-
goth hand.
Do you think he sleeps upside down?
Duh. Why
He'd
wouldn't
never make himself fly with those though, did he? That'd be fucking sweet. Just come in there like
Not that, to my knowledge, no, but that's
right. I don't think so either, but it should be funny.
Also, if you watch Batman Ninja, he makes a giant. I don't even know what you would call it. He summons a bunch of bats, and they summon a bunch of monkeys, and they become this giant Batman that morphs into a Batman, and it fights a giant Batman rogues mech with like the Joker and Two-Face and Penguin, and it's just insane. So
The
also
Bat
can
Sword.
summon bats to do that. Yeah, pretty much. But it wasn't a Zord. It was just like I don't even know how to even explain it. But yes, it's a cool ability.
So number 2, I went with the good old fashioned belt, man. I don't know how you don't have his utility belt on there since it houses literally all of his powers other than his cape.
It's
And-
cheating.
Well,
Just kidding.
Yeah, that's why I didn't have it. It just has like everything in there.
I know, but I mean, what's he gonna have? A bat sack?
Yeah.
A backpack? Fucking the utility belt, man. He's what started the utility belt thing. So
Yeah.
it's I don't know. It's just iconic to me, so I had
I
to do
get
it.
it. I understand. I felt like I'd be including too many weapons, so that's why I just didn't do it.
Again,
But
it's
I
more the
understand.
storage utility for it than the weapons.
Yeah.
But yeah, I get your point.
The only thing I don't like about his utility belt is the wound up cord doesn't actually make sense physically. Because again, like there's the cord on it, but it'd be so for them the length it is that it's been shown to be inside of his belt and the size of his belt, the length of the cord when like there's no material on Earth that's strong enough to support like 300 pounds, which is what I assume Batman would be with his muscle in his suit. So
His
He-
giant dick in his pants.
yeah. So there's no known material, but he is Batman, so I don't know what that is actually made out of. Because like Spider-Man's
Vibranium.
webbing actually does that too. Yeah, Spider-Man's webbing is a little bit stronger than you think it would be. Where you're like, wait a minute, how is that strong?
Yeah.
That's made of spider silk, and they actually explain that, but they never explained to me why that cord is so damn strong for how small it is and how thin it would be.
Spider Bat.
Spider-Bat, Spider-Bat.
Number 1. Number 1 will shock you. Not actually. I should have said that when I was doing the Batsuit teaser.
Probably.
Number 6 will shock you. Power Armor.
Bam.
Love it. It's one of my favorite looks on Batman. I mean, the Nightfall Batsuit is my favorite Batsuit, and in a way, it's kind of an armored Batsuit. It looks great. Essentially, just kind of looks like a futuristic robot Batman. It's beautiful. But the power armor that he uses to fight Superman, it's just gorgeous. Looks wonderful. Kind of just looks like Batman and Ironmonger had a child. And it's wonderful. And I love the way it looks in live action too. Batman vs. Superman. It is absolutely fucking gorgeous. I love it. I know Dan doesn't really like it. It's fine. But all I can say is, fuck you, Dan, for not
I'm
liking it.
I bet Tony Stark's better than.
Whoa. Don't.
Well, I do
Don't.
agree again, but yeah, I don't know. Like I said, it gave him his best, one of my favorite looks as far as Batman goes, and then
Yeah.
yeah, did what it did.
My number one. First, let me ask you a question. Is it better to drive or to fly?
I personally
Depends on
like driving.
situation.
Flying scares me.
Flying's awesome. And why would you not want to fly around Gotham if you could, if you had the money for a small, personalized jet that could get into small spaces, hover, land on top of rooftops, and basically conceal itself? And that's why the Batwing is my number one.
Boo!
Yeah, I like the
Popcorn.
Batwing.
Twisted tea. I'm just kidding. Batwing sick. Love it. Pretty sweet. I didn't include it on my list. I didn't want to include too many vehicles because I felt weird, but
Also, I like its name
Batwing.
as the Batwing and not the Batjet, because you think it would be the Batjet, but it's the Batwing, and I'm like, oh, that makes more sense.
Mhm.
It's a better name.
Batwing is good.
Bat helicopter. Bat bus.
Yeah. It's made for some pretty iconic scenes when it flies up into the moon and does the shape of the bat.
Yeah. Obviously, Batman
Pretty
Beyond's
beautiful.
Batwing is the best Batwing. It's definitely more of a stealth technology. It's cool. Terry without the Batwing is a lot worse than Bruce without the Batwing. Bruce doesn't need it as much as I feel Terry utilizes it as Batman Beyond, but it's a good vehicle.
Yeah. I like it. I like it a lot. Jeremy.
Oh yeah, number
Number
one.
one.
I just went with the Batmobile. I specifically the Tumbler because I like it the most. Aesthetically, there's other Batmobiles that are just better, but I don't know. The Tumbler's realistic, and it still looked really badass for being what it was.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking sweet. Turns into a
And it's-
motorcycle.
Right, very versatile. It looks like the thing could pop out fucking wings and glide pretty far too.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not that far because it looks super heavy, but it probably makes something work because he's Batman.
Yeah.
Plus, there's just
Batmobile. Oh, no, go ahead.
oh, sorry, I was gonna say I don't think there's a Batmobile as intimidating either. So you see that fucking thing roll up, crash through a wall, you're like, well, you just pissed your pants. Versus you get any of the other ones, you're like, oh, this guy just pulled up and doesn't want to damage anything. So
Yep. Fucking out of here. See you later. Yeah. Yeah, it's good. Batmobile. Fucking iconic as shit. It's great. Love it. Most of Batman's things are pretty sweet.
yeah. Any honorable mentions?
I had
Bad
the
checkers.
I had the shark.
Bad trees.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I think I have one of the coolest bat weapons there is.
Ooh.
I just use this as a box cutter.
Ooh, a bat knife.
Mm-hmm. It's like $30.
I like it. He's got like a one-off sword in one of the animated movies that was basically a lightsaber, so that was pretty cool
Yeah.
too.
The bat saber.
It was just called the Bat Sword, but it was like a plasma version.
Sorry.
So.
They
Sorry.
missed on that. Then it should have been the bat saber.
He should have
There
had.
might have been some copyright shit if you.
It should have just been called Batman's lightsaber,
Yeah.
or just say it's Anakin's lightsaber.
It was blue. Who was that light blue color? So.
They
If
just literally
Batman goes
reference that.
if Batman goes to a baseball game, does he wear a bat hat? It's like, Alfred, get me the bat hat. I'm going to watch the game. Like it's a ball cap.
Ooh,
but it's
and
not
then
a
he has
bat
to
hat.
use a baseball bat.
A bat.
A Batman bat.
That would be pretty
Yeah,
wonderful.
if he plays baseball, does he use a bat?
Mm-hmm.
What about a bat mitt and a bat
Yeah.
ball?
Bat ball. Bring me the bat ball, Alfred.
He runs around the bat field.
Yeah, it's shaped like a bat. It's like, this doesn't look like the correct size of baseball field. But baseball fields can have different dimensions. So he's like, whatever, Alfred. This is the bat field.
I really like bats.
Bats.
He should get a
The
bat
bat-
tattooed on his forehead.
It's the Batman mound instead of the pitcher's mound.
Yep.
Batman just shows up and throws batarangs at you.
That's what you
He's
have to hit
rounding
instead of
bats.
baseballs.
Oh, that'd be great.
He's rounding the bats instead of bases. They look like little bats.
It's a home bat. The Bats win the Bat Series.
Well, that's all
Anyway.
we have for our list. So that
Martha.
concludes this episode.
Martha.
That's about it. I guess thank you for stopping by and listening and watching if you're looking on YouTube. And I guess until next time, we'll see you later.
I'm Batman.
Martha!